Tugboat, Typhoon, the Shockmaster, the B.A.D.D. Big Steel Man coming at you live. It's Saturday again. Time for the next episode of The Green Room, the Grand Debate. Oh my God, are you guys excited? I know that I am. Oh my God. Folks, they're coming from all over the place. I keep telling you guys, we're the hottest thing on the internet right now. It's crazy. It's wild. It's phenomenal. I can't wait. Listen, can you guess who the contestants are tonight? Well, the first one is a 3-time Grammy Award winner. Contestant number 2, a Hall of Fame boxer. Contestant number 3, WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame wrestler. It's gonna be competitive. It's gonna be exciting. Oh my God. I can't wait. Oh my God. Like I said again, they're coming from everywhere. And the fan base keeps growing and growing and growing. Everybody wants to see and everybody wants to be a part of this grand debate. I can't wait. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Bye.
To our differences, but let us also direct attention to our common interests.
Third person who's given me this today.
You hear Zeppelin for the first time.
Jason London is the top vote getter.
The feet of a wrestling god.
I'm not going to see any firemen carry takeovers here. Hello.
Missed the home run because of the throw. So,
and I've seen a bunch of them.
On Layfield, we'll move on to round 2.
Now how do you like them apples?
40,000 players have stepped up.
You don't have 3 times that number of stars.
gets away from goal.
Even if I argued them, they would be 50-50.
Officially in round number 2 is Marcus Buff Bagwell.
Back over to Barry.
They didn't even do it for all of the games.
It's about SMU's fall from grace.
Having something behind.
There's 2 guys standing there and zip.
As long as there's expertise.
Talk a little bit to me, Steamboat.
They sent him out to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Future science officer.
You're gonna have a few words with him.
So good to see you.
I don't want to be a role model.
Professional soccer teams.
Steven Tobolowsky barely ekes out a win again.
Tater.
His name was Herb Mulch.
But it wasn't a million newspapers.
A big butt when it smiles.
Or the ones we saw in front of the castle.
I am Ted.
I don't understand what Wichita has to do with a snowstorm and shit.
The woman who played my mother in Amityville Part 2 is also left.
She's coming hard with that boy.
Dignified is the word often associated with Lenny. and it was me that called your number. And
I think this speech is so impactful.
Stay here while I go talk to him.
My daughter is too good for you.
It's just going to get out of control.
Jeremy, London has a rebuttal.
My voice should be heard.
Because the way you're looking at me, we must be old friends.
That's terrific.
She was a politician.
But inwardly, you could have a different feeling.
Bruce Wayne. Alexander Knox.
To the left, Army! My name was Kashmir.
Of the AFI Life Achievement Award.
The bar makes it easy.
For all intents and purposes, any historian will tell you that's what started the war.
And the human life on both sides. It was not respected on both sides. Every athlete, they would love this show. How do we get all of the academics, the athletes to watch? There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Have you ever had an affair with your roommate?
People don't know that Ray Lewis was on Dancing with the Stars.
Being a Minnesota native, I'm almost betraying Minnesota Vikings.
You didn't pack enough underwear.
Pogo, you made such a convincing case.
I was much taller and much bigger.
Doing right, another In the Heights.
I'm Potsy, and this is my good buddy Fonz.
I guess I'm the only one he didn't invite.
That's thicker than water and thicker than your blood. My money.
Adoption is a very important,
It's not so much about all of his music.
A very sick boy.
Completely made over.
When he was a young boy, he got a guitar.
He became a prisoner of his own fame.
The script is 450 pages long.
This is Michael.
Being called that because he actually created the shot.
You heard, Layla.
They are tired of your talk.
There's a flip side to that coin.
It's about the numbers.
because I can control this sport with one move. DDT.
Tremendous comeback.
Your name is Flame. Don't dare play me cheap.
How precious gift of life is.
You have to be careful when you fall in love.
Then I've had the greatest life out of everybody.
170 films.
And the American dream lives on in Minnesota.
Standardized tests, these are his grades.
Are you listening to me?
Game this system.
This film needs to come back.
Paleontologist.
Grabs a chair, slams it.
Hits me on such a gut level.
Throw in Donnie's ashes and they blow back in his face.
Tanya said she voted for Peter. Okay, I
Tanya.
appreciate that.
34.
Ash!
I'll kill anybody who does.
I don't give jobs, I hire men.
Things inside you matured and tears come.
It doesn't grow on trees, you know.
The body of the doll.
This is the world's greatest film. Just loss of everything.
So Tretch, Don Most, and Tom Holland will all be moving So round number 2.
Morrison is gone. He is fouled by Hudson. You know me, Gene. These are titanium.
For all of the retired players,
Come over the rail. I said, baby,
There's that head-to-head matchup, and he clearly...
Basketball could help me cope with that.
But now you're my hero in life.
Got to keep my
Irish whip. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
On the way down.
More old folks that want it fast and right now too.
I may not agree. It will become even more complex.
What you see is what you're getting from me.
Who are you?
I am Belki Bartokomuz.
This is Lucas.
Because it relates a lot to my childhood.
Every object that we see and identify.
Teacher, but I still hear him in my head.
Got to keep my
One-on-one with The Undertaker.
Telling me, Mike, you won't be able to stand the rigors of the NBA. And now that I look back,
The sky's the limit. All you gotta do is be ready to reach those heights.
You gotta quit being stupid.
We take it one step at a time. That's
I'm trying to win this entire thing.
It's like in sports, I'm sure Jim would say the same thing. You don't play for individual awards.
Well, yeah, I'd love to be able to say I beat all these guys in the debate.
it's about the pride and the pride.
Prize is pretty darn good, too.
It's always about the pride.
I come here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
At the end of the day, it really is about winning.
yeah. Heck yeah, I'm here to win. It's in my DNA.
and I'm waiting to kick. Tonight.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm here to do my best. Everybody has some pride.
Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. I plan on winning tonight.
She's in here doing mental push-up.
You know, winning is really important. But you know what's even greater is inspiring. And bro, that's what you do with this show.
Well, you're in it to win it, or why be in it at all?
I'm about winning. I think I'd be more interested in the prize.
It's about the prize.
Avi, I am here to go for the gusto.
Why are you keeping score if you don't want to win it?
Though I'm not super competitive, I would like to win that.
We all want to win, right?
I'm here to win.
I'll do the best I can and leave it up to the voters.
Of course, I'd love to win.
I'm always in it to win it, Avi.
I'm definitely in it to win it.
I've already won because I'm sure I'm going to be enlightened by our other guests.
I hate losing. I want to go to Greece.
It's about the pride. You don't want to come in second. You want to be first.
Do you here to win the whole thing?
Oh, sure, why not?
Well, of course I am. I don't do nothing to lose.
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I want to go to Greece.
I have a newborn daughter, so I'm here to win it for her.
Wouldn't be on here if I wasn't going to win something.
Yes, I'm going to win it all, man. Winning it all, baby.
Send some kids to Greece.
So definitely.
If I'm lucky enough to win, I'll turn it back into the pool.
Absolutely, I'm going for it.
Party people! That's right. I'm here.
Nothing better than the top.
Well, I'm going to give it 110%. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you know.
We don't go out with no losing mentality, man.
So I'm here to win. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here to win the whole thing, man. I don't get in the ring for losing, man. I'm like in the ring right now.
To do the best I can, looking forward to it.
Use that to kind of opportunity to do those similar things.
Somebody's going to be a winner. It might be me.
And have to want to win this thing.
The Mountie always gets his man. I'm going to win.
I don't play. I just win.
You and me have some fun.
The sister of Mary Hartman. I can't think of the character's name.
Kathy Shumway, maybe?
Yeah, she was Kathy Shumway. Very
Shumway.
good. That's very impressive. You got a good workshop you're doing.
Sure
If this is what's going on in your workshop.
Sweep the leg.
But you're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5.
And 10 is no one's perfect, but honest to God, you're terrific. You do your homework, and
I appreciate
I've done
that.
everybody. I've done, in the 80s, I did Johnny Carson, I did Merv Griffin, I did it all. And you're very energetic and good, and you asked the right question.
Welcome, Bronson Pinchot, my friend.
Thank you. I commend you for that. That's some of the best.
First name Michael, last name Cooper. Mr. Cooper, welcome, my friend.
I mean, that was fantastic. You are great. The only other person that has that kind of spontaneity and the gift of gab was the late, great Chick Hearn. We thought Golden Throat was gone, but he's reincarnated in you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the celebrity tournament, my friend.
Thank you, Avi. I agree with all your previous guests. You give good intro.
If I see any smirking, this class is over.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian man named Skippy, or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Avi. That's.
They sold the merchandise and merch.
They put their own sequels in the movie ahead
of time.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
Abolish the political parties.
Last name Ventura, first name Jesse.
I'll tell you this, Avi, you definitely do your homework. Hey, like I said, the good thing about you're extremely prepared, much more prepared than most interviewers that I get.
Here's something, Dad. I mean, Santa.
My little Althea's got a little snow on the brain.
Oh, where'd you get that book from?
Yeah, there we go.
That's my year book. But
Yeah.
baby, I tell you what, you did your homework.
Did you have fun here in the green room?
Anytime you want me back, I'll be here, brother.
That woman I wanted.
John Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you.
I'm prepared to take on this challenge of this wonderful monologue that you've written, and I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do after I read it again for maybe the third or fourth time. I wish that I'd had the time to commit it to memory because it deserves that. Giving me your thoughts and your input, because as I told you, that piece that you sent me is, I love good writing.
Last name Darso, first name Barry.
Holy cow, what an intro that was. I couldn't say it better than myself. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Bill, welcome to the Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. What an introduction. I'll tell you, it's amazing.
Mr. Long, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Avi. Listen, player, let me tell you, I've just been waiting on one of those introductions, and I was sitting there watching the opening of the show, and I kept seeing all these guys talk about, oh man, thank you, that was the greatest introduction we've ever had, and I'm sitting here, I'm saying to myself, please, I'm waiting on him to introduce me. I want to see exactly what they mean, and they didn't lie. Your mic skills are tremendous, player. I'm telling you right now, thank you so very much for having me on your show. Man, all I can say is what an honor.
Ray Mercer, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure being here, man. It's an honor.
Welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend, man.
Whoa, dude. Yo, if I ever need to find somebody, just in general, I am calling you. That was incredible.
Mr. Spencer Haywood, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for that great introduction. This is awesome.
Welcome, DC Glenn, to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Yeah, this is how I feel about your introduction.
Rico!
Get it. Jerry Lucas, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Avi, so very much. I appreciate what you said.
Jeff Timmons, welcome, my friend.
Avi, thank you, man. That is quite the introduction. I've done a ton of these things, as you know. I've never had an intro like that. Kudos to you, man. It's an honor to be with you. Thanks for having me. I totally appreciate it.
Welcome, Jacques Rougeau.
I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I think you should write my own book like the intro. Would you do that again?
Tim Hardaway, welcome, my friend.
Thanks, man. That was great. I love the introduction. Yeah, you go with me anywhere and introduce me anywhere. I love that. I appreciate that. That was the best introduction I ever had in my life, my career.
I think that you've done a fabulous job, and I have not met an interviewer like you. You know, neither have I had some of these questions that really sort of went very deep into my heart.
Did you have a lot of fun today, Raven?
Yeah, I did. I really surprisingly did. I thought it was a really good time. It's about education and entertainment.
Again, did you have a nice time?
I did. I enjoyed it immensely, and it really got me thinking, and I really got a chance to meet a couple of fantastic guys.
Now, but my hats off to you. I could have stayed on for hours more. I love different topics. You know, you letting us speak and just reaching other things we never ever spoke about.
Dude, absolutely. Oh my God, this was beyond expectations.
Yes,
I
sir.
love you. This is amazing.
Did you have fun, man?
I really did, Avi. Thank you. It was great.
Spencer, did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was great. I mean, your intro for me was just awesome, but also the intro to the show was like, wow, you have all of these people. The only two people I want to beat right now is Rick Barry and Eddie Johnson. Maybe I'm coming for you.
Really good discussion and the respect. You know, you're at the center of
of it all. And you really are terrific at this. I've never done anything remotely like this. And
I had a blast, man. This was absolutely phenomenal. So keep up the good work. I hope this takes off even bigger and better than it is right now with you.
Did you have a good time, my friend?
I had a wonderful time, Avi. You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about, man, and the gift of gab you have. Like I told you, it's almost like you're Chick Hearn reincarnated, but you're great, my friend. Wonderful, wonderful, great. Love this show.
Tim, overall, did you have a good time, my friend?
Man, this was incredible. This is different. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. You're so innovative. I love it, man, because it got me thinking. Man, this is beautiful. This is when you got a hangover, you can have some of these.
I've had a 32-year hangover watching the Knicks.
Hey, man, I just really want to know this. Is eargasm a word?
It is now. Did you have a good time tonight, my friend?
You have something amazing going with this show but you're there and you're educating us. You're taking people from different eras, different disciplines. You're taking us out of our comfort zone. You're making us fall in love with people that we didn't know.
No one will ever ad-lib like you. It is amazing, though, that everyone that comes on, they always say the same thing. How did you know all of that? That is just simply amazing.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. It was better than my bar mitzvah.
Share that bad dream again. Did you find the technique itself helpful when it came to observing your scene partner staying present instead of strictly relying upon memory?
That's a great question, Avi.
Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person?
I really enjoyed this, man. You're a smart guy and you ask really good questions. And
Ed Begley, welcome, my friend, to the green room again.
Thank you so much, Avi. Good to be back.
Joe, welcome, my friend.
I think I have whiplash, Avi. Thank you very much.
Jim Duggan, welcome, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Oh!
Don Most, welcome, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Avi. What an introduction. That was very impressive.
The one and only Stretch.
Yo, that was dope.
I
You
appreciate
better
it.
than a lot of these rappers out there.
Tom Holland, welcome, my friend.
Avi, I stand in awe of your memory and your ability to rhyme, and it's just amazing.
what an incredible introduction, Avi. That is probably the best introduction I've probably ever had.
DiBiase, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Debate Tournament, my friend.
Brother, I'm going to take you with me everywhere to get an introduction. That's the best introduction I've ever had in my life. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. And it's so positive.
Mark, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Tournament, my friend.
Think positive. Oh my gosh. I feel like I just ran a marathon listening to that, man.
Come on. Welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Every day's a Friday and every night's a Saturday night, Astieville. I am so happy to be on this show.
Christopher Martin, welcome, my friend.
Incredible. I hope you didn't mind it. I filmed that intro you just did for me because I'm going to play that on my low self-esteem day.
Jake Roberts, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Grand Tournament, my friend.
Wow, that was scary.
Welcome, Brutus.
I love this. This is great. You got the intro down to a science, baby.
Peter Melman, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Bruce Davison, welcome to the tournament, my friend.
That was great, man. Where did you dig that all up? That's amazing.
Jesse Ventura, welcome to the TCAN Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Thank you, Avi. It's great to be here and great to be back interviewed by you. It's been far too long.
Never been out with a girl before.
You made me laugh too. It was great.
I think Alf would be wisecracking while the alien would be tearing everybody up apart, I guess. Let's talk about some of the 80s horror classics. Last name Wilkins, first name Lenny. Lenny Wilkins, my friend, welcome.
Thank you, man.
And all of the actors and directors, different worlds come together. This is like a sanctuary for those people because we don't always get to talk about the things that really truly move us. I love this show because it makes me feel.
Dowley Kirkland, welcome to the green room.
How did you do that thing where you were talking so fast?
I don't know.
I very few people can do what you did. Well, the acting teacher here, 35 years, commends you on your ability to do that. I'm very impressed.
Because I've done podcasts in the past, and so what have you done, and what are you going to be doing later? This is fantastic. I mean, this gets your juices going. You know, it gets you thinking. We had fun. You know, it's fun and it is educational. So
I had a good time.
It was intellectually stimulating, which is kind of a unique thing in this world of ours today.
Lou, did you have a good time, my friend?
Yeah, I had a fabulous time. Thanks for having me on the show.
Question, did you have a good time, my friend, tonight?
I did. It's so unusual to be engaged in what everybody else is saying and to want to listen because it's happening real time and it's not a a frozen dinner, as it were, being served.
I want to compliment you on giving me my best introduction I've ever had in my whole life, too. That should have been the first thing.
Thank you. You have fun tonight, my good friend?
Yes, I did, man. I really enjoyed every minute of it, man. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm just happy I made it to the next round.
Did you have fun tonight, my friend?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Looking for
being around people who are willing and open. I like that.
I did have a good time. It was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the opportunity. It was exhilarating. Like Barry, I didn't know what to expect. I enjoyed it.
You bring in people from different walks of life. It's good to be able to see that you bring people together that, you know what, maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show. And I want you to accept the accolades that you get from all of these brilliant people. They tell you that you're smart. They tell you that you're exposed. These are comments and compliments that you have to say, thank you very much, I accept.
My name is Sergeant Slaughter.
Wasn't sure what to expect. You're number one in my book as far as putting on a podcast, knowing what you know.
You know, I just think it was really good company. You're terrific. I've never done something like this before, so it was fun.
No, you know what? You're a very interesting person. With all this rhyming stuff, you must really put a lot of effort into this. I would love to read or see something that you've written, because I'm sure it's really interesting.
Underrated and why? Sauerkraut, Henry Kissinger's deep soothing voice, or dogs wearing sweaters?
I like dogs wearing sweaters.
Your jack of all trades is teaching this craft as rewarding for you as performing.
I think sometimes it's more rewarding. Where did you do your research? I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. You do a great job preparing.
A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
I hope you're getting paid a lot. That was the greatest intro I think I've ever had. The amount of stuff that you talked about that I don't even remember about myself, so impressive that I'm highly impressed. So I would give this a very high A.
Oh, I did. It was like a high school reunion.
Yeah, no, it's terrific and it's fun, and keep bringing diverse personalities together. I think that's great. And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other today.
Eric, how are you, my friend?
What's up, Vic? How you doing, man? I like that introduction. Golly, I didn't know that stuff about myself. This is, I think, my top. I mean, because when you do the intro you gave me, I gotta give it to you. I like
you deserve it. Later on, you were able to get her cast on a series, and she received her SAG card. Is that right?
Oh, I love you that you brought that up. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
What an honor to meet you. And
My
you're
pleasure.
great.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Courtney, did you have a lot of fun too as well?
Oh yeah. I thank God I had sports topic.
Did you guys have fun?
I had a blast. This is a great show.
What a blast.
I had a great time tonight. You keep rhyming, man. Entertaining. And like I said, it gave like a battle rap spoken word.
Usually I'll do interviews and get asked the same questions about Stephen King. This was great to talk about things that matter, that go beyond projects.
Last name Johnson, first name Ed.
Wow! When I have a retirement party, even at my funeral, you better show up.
Papa Smurf as a hip-hop artist?
Yo, yeah.
You're very talented. That's amazing.
Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? So I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time, if you'd like me to do that.
I don't know what I can do now.
First name Keith.
Oh my God, what a great introduction. Fantastic. You do your research, connected with me right there. And he knows my brand. He nailed it. And now I know why. This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests. And great guests beget great guests.
It's fabulous.
So I'm excited.
Good. How you feel, John?
Terrific.
What a grand night it is indeed, guys and gals. It is the holiday season officially, and as you guys know, it is the Green Room. If you're a fan of fiery, unbridled passion, then that intro says it all, as it can melt the South Pole. This place we call the Green Room is filled with edutainment and has plenty of heart and soul. There hasn't been a second in which I abandoned this craft. It's a purpose, guys and gals. It's a lifestyle I shall always sing. There's a time, guys and gals, where I listen to Stanislavski and take a beat as I process everything in real time. This is the 169th consecutive episode of The Green Room, a feeling that cannot be expressed through a mere rhyme. This craft, this art, this blank canvas, freedom that we all fill with our souls are reminders that passion is eternal. This heart of mine on full display, I provide unto you wholeheartedly. It guides me. It is as internal as it is external. With a bevy of views on 53-plus pages week in and week out, innovation is our name, and the sweat is the sweet. Dedication, labor, and innovation only arrive when your effort is absolute, so put that in a tweet. And in this celebrity tournament that has captivated the masses, the field is one of a kind. Luminaries from all walks of life gathering to compete for the pride and the prize. This is truly a sport of the mind. Sure, the numbers are fantastic on 53 pages, not including my own, but what's even sweeter is the sweat. By that, I mean good old-fashioned work ethic, wholehearted passion, effort, and consistency never lead to regret. The good bard Shakespeare himself said our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by feeling to. And those words ring ever so true. It means that you're the author of your story. Don't edit your vision due to others that secretly prefer to boo while attempting to obstruct your view. I dub what you see on Saturday nights as competitive camaraderie, and I call it edutainment, where we educate and entertain. With 13 grand on the line, a trip for 2 degrees, and becoming the first champ of this star-studded field, a lot is on the line. But you, our audience, the engine that makes this thing go, are the sweet nectar that we appreciate like fine old wine. So sit back and enjoy this month, as round number 1 isn't quite done. Thought-provoking topics that cover it all, history, sports, philosophy, but you know how we do? We always have fun. As strangers become friends, and we all come together, let's remember that we are closer than one might surmise. Limitless visions of innovative bliss experienced by an ensemble is the vision behind these eyes. Never hate the flower for starting out as a seed. Long distance running is essential. This isn't a stampede, so don't run anyone over on your way to the top. Focus on yourself and never forget to cheerlead. Root for your loved ones and lift people up. This human fortune cookie hopes that we've all agreed that positivity is something that we can never concede. So with that, guys and gals, it's about time to bring in our first participant of the night. Opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor. Don't work for recognition, but do work worthy of recognition. Our first participant epitomizes the latter. He was born to parents Irvin and Harriet in 1958 as an artistic revolution would begin way before he was a teenager. Makes perfect sense, as his parents went to the University of Minnesota, guys and gals, and had quite the major. Theater, of course, and later his father was writing along with commercial voiceovers and directing plays. Soon this man would trailblaze and amaze the masses through those cool rays as a plethora of fans would embrace and begin a craze and shower this artist with much-deserved praise. But let me digress first before I go sideways. As a 6.5-year-old kid, he took piano lessons. And he stuck with it a bit beyond senior year of high school. At age 14, he requested to work with 2 music teachers that definitely helped him pick up more than one tool. It was their help where he learned how to improvise techniques necessary to play jazz. Liberation was evident, as our passion should never be looked or locked away in some sort of Alcatraz. He had his first gig comprised of kids in his neighborhood at some girl's bat mitzvah at the age of 12 and a half. Pretty soon a bevy of fans would ask him for his autograph from London to Flagstaff. There was a legend on the rise that needed a keyboard player. In the basement of Peppy Willie, something was unanswered, guys and gals. Perhaps a prayer and conveyor, a man with an abundance of layers. Bobby Z wanted him to listen to this man's demo tape. Soon their collaborative experience would reshape and cultivate an entire genre and era that needed to escape, as they began their works of art to change the entire landscape. He requested an audition in October of '78, then after a 3-week wait, he got his shot thanks to his talent and innovation. There were no locked doors. He subsequently recorded with the legend, co-wrote in some pivotal songs as well, and performed with him on world tours. He was influenced by the British bands of the 60s like the Stones, the Beatles, and the Who. What about R&B and funk artists? Should I provide you with a clue? Nah. Let's name some of these greats, such as James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, 70s band like Earth, Wind & Fire, Steely Dan, Elton John, yes, and David Bowie. I can't count how many times I've rested these bones, listening to these icons on my old headphones. How about his great conversation in Wembley Stadium with Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones? Does it get better than jamming with an absolute music giant, a true captain? Well, he did just that at an after-party in London with the one and only Eric Clapton. His early synthesizer setup was an Oberheim OBX-A ARP Omni, Yamaha CP70, electric grand piano, and an ARP Pro soloist. He truly was able to entertain and provide a smile to those who were at their lowest. This man has won 3 Grammy Awards, 3 American Music Awards, and numerous RIAA Gold and Platinum Awards for his work with the Revolution, and a certain individual I alluded to earlier. That man's name was Prince. He changed the music world. This is something that is evident, no need to convince. His work with Prince included his work with the Revolution, the NPG, Madhouse, and the 1984 film and album Purple Rain, which has sold over 25 million copies worldwide. They had range and more diversity than Jekyll and Hyde, as they made bigger headlines than Bonnie and Clyde. From the cover of TV Guide to even connecting to those living mountain side, our hearts and souls they occupied as they brought us all together and unified. So with that, I don't need a shrink to tell me what to think when it comes to my state of elation. Nothing can calm me down, not even a drink. So put your hands together for a kind, legendary artist, the doctor himself. First name Matt, last name Fink. Mr. Fink, welcome, my friend.
Oh my God. I'm speechless after that. I'm trying to come down from the mountaintop. Oh my goodness. Prince used to say we went to the mountaintop. Well, I'm still there, but I'm coming down now after that. I don't know.
Oh, gosh, no, my friend. And you deserve everything. You know, before I put you backstage and bring our second participant, and guys, to the participants in the back, please unmute your microphones. I'm about to bring you in. So for those participants in the back listening, please unmute your microphones. Mr. Fink, I gotta ask you a question here, man.
Sure.
There's so many luminaries over here. You're one of them. You've inspired so many people. You're definitely someone who revolutionized, of course, the band we know of, the Revolution. But you did do just that. You revolutionized the music scene. I got to tell you, man, there's so much talent over here. The conversations we've had, you become a fast friend. Are you here to win the entire tournament when it's all said and done?
Absolutely. I'm in it to win it, man. I always am.
I love it. I love it. And guys
That's
and
right.
gals, again, Mr. Matt Fink, an innovator, someone who we're going to learn more about through these topics as well, and someone who's going to continue to inspire us doing what he does from the heart. I'm going to put you backstage momentarily, my friend.
Oh, no problem.
Matt Fink, guys and gals. I'm about to bring our second competitor in right now, guys, and I love it. Everyone's unmuted. We're ready to go. I see him getting revved up. This is great. And this man, guys and gals, only had a few hours' notice. How about that? A few hours' notice to come into this broadcast, and he's revved up and ready to go as well. So, guys and gals and pals, the works must be conceived with fire in the soul, but executed with clinical coolness. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. The second participant is a man, guys and gals, that has battled his entire life, yet he touched the lives of many. And although he packs one heck of a punch, his infectious smile and warm heart can never be taken for granted. Despite an onset of challenges, this man was allergic to defeat. With a heart, will, and punch as tough as concrete, no one could deny that incredible heartbeat. His journey, guys and gals, began in the 70s. Rest assured, his road was tough and didn't always epitomize the word heaven. We know that he was born in 1977. His father took he and his 3 brothers to Gleason's gym. Such a privilege has nothing to do with riches or rags. He dive bombed off the ropes, kamikaze the boxers in training, and swarmed the heavy bags. Mike Tyson stepped out of the shadows in his kitchen, brandishing his heavyweight title belt that he recently won. This incredible young man told Tyson, someday I'll have this too and have my day in the sun. In the words of Mike Tyson himself, this next participant's father was a hero to many in Brownsville. And his son had the skill, the will, the talent to make the rising sun chill. After a bout with him, you need a few migraine pills. And every time he fought on the big stage, he made the networks the big old dollar bills. His first professional fight took place on September 20th, 1996. He knocked out Michael Johnson, and soon we were all transfixed. One of his most notable achievements came in the year 2000 when he won his first world title. Boxing aficionados and the masses took notice as this win was vital. This victory was just the beginning of his impressive collection of world titles as he went on to conquer both the light welterweight and welterweight divisions throughout his career. Everyone started to cheer as year after year we were locked into every moment in the ring instead of staring into our beer. Are we talking about any old pugilist? No, we're talking about someone who this year was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So despite the name, the acclaim, and his game, I'd like to give him a nickname. Mr. Z, the maker of glee. As you see, our original Hall of Famer boxer, guys and gals, was under the weather. So we all came together. And with a few hours' notice, you will see before you in a few minutes a 6-time world champ. Whether it was Floyd Mayweather, Mickey Ward, Camacho Jr., or Selden, he took them all to camp. This legend also is a 2-time U.S. national champion. Then 3 times he won the Golden Glove. Anywhere from Biscayne to Fort Wayne to Spain and back to Maine, give this man some love. I'm not a math major, but that smallest percentage of human beings are undisputed champions, and this man is one of those select few. Watching him compete is always a treat, as he'd run through opponents who'd be in the back with their shampoo. As we would review this man who was always stellar since his debut, as he'd attain championships he'd pursue. 30 knockouts against the cream of the crop. This man is on many people's Mount Rushmore. His legend is real, and so is his legacy, not merely the stuff of folklore. He unified the IBF, WBC, and WBA light heavyweight, light welterweight titles in 2005. And he continues to thrive, mentoring up-and-coming boxers who are trying to survive. So give it up for a man that can do it all. Right, left, uppercut, the gift of gab. And one hell of a jab. I welcome in a kind, humble, legendary man. Last name Judah, first name Jab. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, my God. Wow, what a hell of an interest. Wow, what a hell of an introduction. That was cool, man. That was super cool. No, I don't even think Michael Buffer did it better than you, brother.
That's high praise. I appreciate that. But man, you got the belt. You're holding the belt right now.
Yeah. You know, I bought the belt to show the people this is real. This ain't no cap.
Look at history, guys. This is the WBC title.
That's it.
Look at Phil Donnie, who says he can't believe it. Yeah, guys, it's Mr. Zab Judah. The best of the best is right here. And Zab, listen, if anyone knows what it's like to beat the very best and climb that mountaintop over and over, it's you, my friend. Are you here to win the entire TCAN Celebrity Tournament as well?
Yeah.
Is this a tournament you want to win as well, my friend?
Oh, well, you know what? So I want to thank you for bringing me on here, because I know that with this right here, I can now finally say I got my 31st knockout. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going for the knockout, baby. You know how I do.
30 knockouts on your resume, 30 knockouts, guys and gals. This is a man who's an absolute legend and also an inspirational force. We're going to talk about what he does for the community, for kids, even for nurses. This is a man that does it all. Mr. Judah, I'm going to put you in the back momentarily, my friend, and bring you right back in.
Okay.
Mr. Zab Judah, guys and gals, a legendary human and a legendary athlete. Our third competitor right now is coming in, and then we're going to start, guys and gals. Our third competitor is about to come in right now as we speak. Guys and gals and pals, some people hear their own inner voices with great clearness, and they live by what they hear. Such people become crazy, or they become legends. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Our third participant is a living legend and is class personified. On a cold, windy night in Chicago in December of '53, a man was born, and he would not be denied. He loved Superman and Zorro as a child for the good guy versus bad guy theme and the stories they would tell. By lunchtime during the first day of first grade, he wouldn't buy what they were attempting to sell. After lunch, he couldn't help but notice a bird outside the window and was able to admire its freedom and state of liberation. It sure beat trying to figure out how to solve a daily mathematical equation. His family moved to Pittsburgh when he was about age 10 or 11. Wrestling Studio 11 on TV with Bill Cardell, he was truly in heaven. Sure, there was jumping Johnny DeFazio, Hurricane Hutton, Slip Mahoney Darso, but one man reigned supreme above all, and his name was Bruno. From this point on, he knew he was going to be a pro wrestler, despite his guidance counselor going, whoa. In 9th grade, his guidance counselor, Hans, asked him what he wanted to do when he grew up. When the answer he heard was professional wrestler, he laughed, as this 9th grader was only 130 pounds. Fate stepped in. All of a sudden, one day, he was in someone else's grounds. But I digress. He started wrestling in grade school, high school, and then for Penn State. But at age 15, driving around with his buddy, he was on the lookout for an all-time great. Bruno Sammartino was living in the neighborhood, and one day this legend-to-be could see him through the hedges in his backyard. So he busted through, and as Bruno was playing with his son David, there was no doubt that he was definitely caught off guard. At 5'11" and 265 pounds, Bruno was quite the specimen, and his expression came across as, what the hell? But it's enough that this awkward encounter allowed a friendship and mentorship that would quickly gel. Before the ringing of the bell, they cared and respected one another wholeheartedly in a nutshell. Bruno met his folks and took him under his wing. Training in his basement, doing the same workout for years, that was definitely their thing. Bruno wanted him to go to college, so he did because of one word, respect, as he continued training and stretching out those limbs. He started wrestling from around Pittsburgh in the area, doing local TVs and shows in the high school gyms. Then Bruno sent him to British Columbia, Vancouver. There was a wrestling territory led by Gene Kiniski and Sander Zabo. And although this wasn't where he would stay, he would learn and grow before going to the WWF as a main attraction on a big show. Everyone from Arnold Scallon to Chief J. Strongbow to Tony Altamore and Gorilla Monsoon, the Savaldis and George Steeles were all great tutors. And in 1974, he was named PWI Rookie of the Year. They boo the people they secretly want to cheer. And in 75, he went off to California and then Georgia and worked with many a peer. As something was blossoming, I'm talking about his career. He took it further and returned to the WWF in 76, and he teamed up with Tony Gurria, but the best was yet to come. There was a storyline that would serve as a blueprint for success, and no one knew where it came from. The trainer and pupil faced one another in Allentown on January 22nd, 1980. The turn happened, and they were calling for this man's head, from men named Fred to a woman named Katie. He put himself into legitimate danger. He was stabbed, shot, hit with pipes, had his car overturned, his taxi attacked. He was no longer safe in his own home. It led up to a cage match main event known as the Showdown at Shea, a throwback to the great battles in Rome. In those days, selling out a stadium for wrestling was unheard of, but he and Bruno did it first. As the passionate fans didn't need pay-per-view or cable to express their undying thirst, he became a top draw everywhere he went. The NWA and the Killer Brooks story. To this feud in the AWA with Sergeant Slaughter, a man who waved old glory. He became AWA heavyweight champion of the world and wrestled in the first Tokyo Dome show in front of 70,000 fans who would excite at such a sight. This was more than double the amount of people that would show up the next night to see the Tyson and Buster Douglas fight. From a tag team specialist to one of the greatest champions of all time. Can it fit all into this passionate and heartfelt rhyme? Not at all, because this man is a true Renaissance man. On the golf course, his tee shots between 270 and 280 yards. He's a licensed pilot and is a black belt in judo. He, guys and gals, if he were an ace, I'd take the bet and give him all my cards. His voice also served as a soundtrack to many growing up. Go ahead and ask any Tom, Dick, or Harry as we welcome a Hall of Fame talent and human being. Last name Zbyszko. First name Larry. Larry Zbyszko, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Avi. You're amazing, brother. I was always known as a good talker, but I don't know what the hell to say after listening to you. You're amazing. That was amazing.
You are amazing, and so is Zab, and so is Matt. And that's why I just want to honor you, my friend, because you've inspired so many people as well. And I got to tell you this, Larry, I meant what I said, a true Renaissance man. You're not going to admit it, so I will, whether it's golf, whether it's wrestling, whether it's announcing, whether it's acting and storytelling, which we'll bring up later on. But I got to ask you, a lot of your fellow peers are in this tournament, and I'm friends with a bunch of them. They call me up. They want to. Are you here to win this entire thing as well, Larry?
Well, you know what? I can't lose. I'm the living legend, Avi. It's a done deal.
I love it. Larry Zbyszko, guys and gals. Oh, man, guys, we're going to bring in Mr. Zab Judah right now and Matt Fink. Matt, how are you?
I'm
Mr.
very
Zab
good,
Judah, guys and gals. Yeah. Zab, if you want to mute the microphone, my friend, because we're all here live. Now, guys, here's the thing. We're going to start off with topic number 1. And after all 3 gentlemen and luminaries before you, and give them a hand. They're doing this live on Christmas Eve weekend. How about that? Give them a hand. Guys, again, we appreciate all of you. 6-figure views across the board. We are killing it over here. We want to make sure we get to that 7-figure number each and every week. Thank you guys for believing in us. Now, guys, again, this is going to be Larry Zbyszko, Zab Judah, and Matt Fink. They each have topics that were sent to them. We're going to start off first with Zab Judah. And the first topic is overcoming obstacles because they're stumbling blocks. They prevent us from reaching goals. They're limiting factors that hinder us from achieving our dreams. We have to overcome these obstacles to move further in life. And it's not enough to set goals. We have to actualize those goals. It's at the point of execution that life becomes unbearable, as unexpected setbacks and obstacles usually set in. But guys and gals, much like 1975, that great white shark of them all, known as Jaws, we always have to expect the big one. And when it arrives, how do we conquer that big one? So guys and gals, Zab Judah will start this thing off. He'll go as long as he'd like, and he'll explain the biggest obstacle that he faced in life and how he overcame it. When Mr. Judah is finished, Dr. Fink, Matthew Fink will go ahead, and then Larry Zbyszko will go right after Matt Fink. Mr. Judah, are you ready to go, good friend?
I'm ready.
In a 3, in a 2, and a U.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I would say, being that I'm a fighter and everything like that, one of my biggest obstacles came in boxing. So it was I fought a guy by the name of Corey Spinks. We had 2 fights, right? The first fight we fought, he won. Well, they gave him the decision, but it was such a controversial decision that they had to give me a rematch. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a rematch, but under a lot of rules and things like that, right? So let's go back and the first fight I made. Let's rather say it was $1.5 million, right? The second fight going into, they said in order to fight him again, Zab, you can only receive $100,000, and you got you got to fight him in his hometown, and you got to wear a certain brand of gloves, that he was used to wearing. You know what I'm saying? Because in my career, I was known as a puncher. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put on these particular gloves, and luckily but surely, I was able to capture
a 9th round knockout over Mr. Corey Strays. Good going to his hometown. Now going to his hometown wasn't such an easy thing. You know what I'm saying? I had people was calling my hotels. People was calling my hotel rooms saying all kind of threatening things to me. You better not win, and we're gonna do this to you and do that to you. So I was under a lot of fire and a lot of heat and a lot of, my back was against the wall. But luckily, you know what I'm saying, with the will of my skills and the will of God, I was able to pull out a 9th round knockout. So in boxing, that was probably like one of the biggest obstacles that I had to come. And I became the undisputed welterweight champion of the world behind that.
That's an inspirational story. It really is. And especially because you never quit and you never used any excuses. Guys, Zab Judah has beaten the best and he's climbed many mountaintops. But guess what? He's not just a boxer. He so happens to, once again, we'll bring this up after the first topic, to help so many people out. And as you see, that smile's infectious. His story is truly not done. This is just the first few chapters we've experienced. And oh my, what chapters they were. Thank you for sharing your heart and mind, my friend.
Thank you.
Right now, we're going to kick it over, guys and gals, to yet another individual who inspired the masses and was on such an innovative trail in the 80s that we're still not over it. How about that? Mr. Matt Fink will explain the biggest obstacle that he faced in life and how he overcame that as well. I believe it might have to do with some negative criticism. Are you ready to go, my friend?
Yes.
In the 3, in the 2?
Well, when I was growing up, I ran into authority early on in being treated unfairly by people who were in the educational field. I found this happening throughout my life. I don't know why that would happen, but I found I was treated unfairly at times. And as I became inspired to become a musician, even some of the teachers of music were skeptical about being a professional in the music industry. And by the time I reached my senior year in high school, I had this one teacher who was the jazz and big band instructor, and he gave me the opportunity to have my own jazz ensemble, like a small group of like 6 people. And we would play occasionally for, some of the halftime shows of the football games and, the class parties and all that stuff. And I said, I said to him, I really want to be a professional musician. What do you think? And he said, nah, I don't think anyone should do that. I go, but you're a musician. Yeah, but the odds of making it are really, really difficult. He was he was not positive. He discouraged me, but I didn't listen to him because, I was already playing in a couple different bands and playing around the Midwest at that time. So I just thought, boy, that was no help whatsoever or support in that way. And I said, is it because you think I'm not good enough? And he said, well, no, not necessarily. I just know that the odds are stacked against anybody in the entertainment field. I said, okay, all right, I'll take that into consideration. He says, you should go to college and have something else to fall back on, just in case. And I said, okay, and my parents gave me the same advice as well. But of course, I didn't listen to any of them. And in fact, when I was about 20, I was 20 years old when I auditioned for Prince. And when Prince asked me to come on board, my father immediately was skeptical and said, oh, he's just going to be a flash in the pan, he said. And I said, okay, you have every right to say that. Okay. And then my older brother said, yeah, he's not going to amount to anything. I go, okay, great. Thanks for the encouragement. But with that said, that just reinforced my conviction to work hard and work with Prince and make it happen. And I did. And I just, so them being skeptical actually inspired me to keep trying it. I didn't give up after that.
And your parents were also thespians as well. They both came from the stage.
Now, with that said, my mom was my greatest fan, as all moms usually are. And not that my father wasn't supportive. He felt, yes, you have the talent to be a musician and all that. But his dream was for me to go to a big fancy music school and learn classical and become a concert pianist. That was kind of because he was a major classical music aficionado, actually. And jazz and all that, of course. But when I was growing up, our household was filled with every genre of music regularly.
It was more generational than, if anything. Rita Godding
Yes.
has a really quick question, guys, I think for Matt. Was the discouraging perhaps reverse psychology? Rita's asking. Was it reverse psychology?
I believe maybe they did it on purpose as reverse psychology. I don't know. I don't know if my father did it that way. But actually, he kind of ate his words, and that's just how it goes. But that's why we sometimes succeed.
No. And I love that, because sometimes obstacles are people closest to us, and it doesn't mean we don't love them, we don't care about them, they don't care about us, but nonetheless, they're an obstacle if they're getting away between us and our passion. Guys, Matt Fink and Zab Judah, again, have given us their hearts in topic number 1. I'm going to segue right now to the living legend himself, Mr. Larry Zbyszko, who will kindly explain the biggest obstacle that he had to face in life and how he overcame it. Are you ready to go, good sir?
Yes, I'm ready to go. I'm still amazed, but you know what? When I think of the word obstacle, to me it leads to a word that should be attached to it, which is accomplishment. Every human being, all of us, when we're young, you might be 7th grade, 8th grade, by the time you're in high school, you can think of it maybe as an obstacle that everybody comes across, because your obstacle, which isn't a negative thing, it's going to lead to an accomplishment, but what you're going to come across in terms of an obstacle is, what do you want to be when you grow up? What is going to make you happy in life? What's your life's dream in this temporary experience we have on this beautiful living planet? So it kind of gives you the motivation, where to me, an obstacle isn't something negative. It's something that leads you to accomplish something. So we all have that choice when we're young. What do I want to be when I grow up? And that's basically the kind of obstacle everybody faces, because then you make a decision of what you want to be, and that leads to accomplishment, and you do whatever you have to do to accomplish your life's dream and what's going to make you happy.
That's so well said. I want to ask Larry this question, and of course, Mr. Matt Fink and Zab Judah as well. Don't you guys think that, in essence, life becomes a lot less complicated and much simpler and happier when we don't have to prove anything to anybody? When we don't have to worry about other people's perceptions and their thoughts. Doesn't life become easier that way when we put that stuff away?
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Well, you know what? I was taught got a great family, but then Bruno, too, my mentor, was a guy, came from a time when a man's word was your contract. And the thing I learned that you were talking about a life is there's two things, the two golden rules that go together. And one is honesty and the truth. Yeah. If you live an honest life and you're honest about everything to everybody, and you tell the truth to everybody, and you're not a liar, you're not going to create big obstacles for yourself. Being a liar, being a cheat, making obstacles for yourself. But if you live a life of honesty and you tell the truth sooner or later trumps everything. So I think the word,
that's very true.
Yeah.
Don't try to be something for the world. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. That's very true.
Tell the truth and do what's going to make you happy and not screw anybody else over. You want to help everybody. The human race is all one race.
Yeah.
We're all the same.
I had a friend who's also in show business, and he always said to me, man, I'm always depressed. I have to put on an act and be someone I'm not. And I said, look, depression is your body needing deep rest from putting on that act. That your body's overcome by it. It's too much. You've got to let it go sometimes. You have to let it go. Totally agree with you, Mr. Zbyszko and Zab Judah and Matt, guys. This was topic number 1. A lot of fun. We have 2 more to go. We have our judges in the back. Again, we're voting on who resonated most with you, because we can't vote on who's right or wrong. There's no right or wrong here. Who resonated most with you and why, guys? You can start voting in the comment section as well. I won't be able to count all of them, or we'll be here till 5 a.m. till Christmas Eve tomorrow. But and then I'll get killed by my sponsor. We can't do that. So let's bring in right now our first judge right now. Let's bring in Joe Rositano. Joe, let us know who you're voting for and why, good sir.
Thank you, and good evening to all 3 of you gentlemen. So this evening, I'm going to go with Zab, because to experience people constantly speaking around you that hatred and that feeling bogs you down. And then especially when you have a mental and physical battle going on at the same time that you have to represent within yourself, that's something that you can't let get in the way of the prize that you have before you. So I appreciate your stance on that, and you have my vote for this evening.
Voiceover artist extraordinaire, Joe Rositano. Thank you again, guys and gals. I also want to remind you, 2 out of 3 as always. Guys, every single week for a year, without fail, every single week for a year, every Saturday night, we've had on average 3 different luminaries show up here live for this tournament. It has never stopped. No nights off. That's what we do here. And remember something, guys and gals. These are living room conversations. We do conversation, not controversy, and we have a lot of fun. Edutainment, pomp and circumstance, but a lot of substance. That's what this tournament is truly all about. That being said, let's bring in our second judge. Remember, 2 out of 3 advanced tonight. The top 2 vote getters move on to round number 2. And we still have, for 1 round only, after the first round, we do have the second chance bowl as well. So anyone eliminated, voted back. That could happen. It could only happen after round number 1. So let's bring in our second judge, McKenna. McKenna, who gets your vote and why?
Hi. Well, they all spoke really well. Larry gave me some words to live by, and Matt gave me some words that really resonated with me because of similar experiences. But I'm also going to go with Zab because it felt like there was a lot fighting against him in that regard in a way that I have never experienced or can even imagine. And you went through that, and kudos to you. Thank you for being willing to share that story with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, McKenna. We appreciate that, guys. Our judges, of course, their votes are worth 3. Everyone else is voting in the comment section. Let's bring them all up right now. Let's see if I can work out the old index finger. All right, so here we go. Andrew Red III says, Zab Judah gets my vote for this round. Amazing testimony by all of you. I loved it. Okay, another vote for Zab. Thank you, Giselle, for tallying things in the back. Rita concurs and also will vote for Zab. This is live, guys. We do not know how this is going to go. Okay, I agree. Jane says, but I'm voting for Matt Fink. Matt gets a vote. Thank you, Jane. Appreciate that as well. A lot on the line. Trip for 2 degrees, 5 days and 5 nights, and 13 grand for whoever wins this entire shebang. Remember, as of tonight, 70 Hall of Famers from music, wrestling, sports, Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe winners. This field is stacked. Gus says, my vote is for Larry Zbyszko. Obstacles outweighed by dreams. Thank you, Gus Anselmo. We got that. Chad is also voting for Larry, although all of them have made amazing points. Yeah, these are men, guys, and gals that have reached the mountaintop and experienced life and still, as you can see, have retained their humanity, and I love that. Alexander says, Larry Z gets my vote. Larry gets Alexander's vote, okay. Alex Silverman, all with their answers were awesome, but I got to go with Mr. Fink. All right. Ken, we're tallying this in the back over here. Kate says, I vote for Larry Zbyszko. Johnny votes for Matt Fink. Okay. Ken Mulroney, I vote for Zab because it was such a real conflict threatening his life. Took a lot of courage to stand up for himself. That is Ken Mulroney there. All right, so a couple more votes here before we move on to the second topic. Randy says, Zab Judah takes my vote. All right, he'll grab it. There you go. Thanks for throwing that over there. We have another vote here. I think this is from, let me see if I could pull this up. This is from Dina, who votes for Matt. All 3 were amazing. That is definitely the line of the night. You're right, because I agree. Mindy says, I'll vote for Mr. Fink on this one. Thank you, Mindy. Larry Z was the ultimate technician in the ring, says Andrew Red III. Thank you, guys. We have a very awesome audience who are passionate and very positive, and I love that. Lewis says he votes for Matt. Okay, another vote for Matt, guys and gals. Remember, it's cumulative, so top 2 vote getters will move on after the third topic. All right, guys and gals, let's count this thing down. Hillary votes for Matt. Angel votes for Mr. Zbyszko. Okay, got that. We have some more votes trickling down the pike here right now. Going to go with Zab, Mr. Collado says. The element of actual human beings taking on the form of an actual obstacle. Wow. Okay. Mel Red votes for Matt. And then Michael Elkins votes for Larry. And then Ed votes for Larry. And so does Dakota. So 3 in a row, guys, just like that. A trio votes for Mr. Zbyszko. Kenyon Pride says Zab gets my vote. Thank you for voting. Appreciate that. All right, so a couple of more. Alex Chumbley votes for Larry, and so does Robert Todd Kennedy, who votes for Larry. 3 names, Robert Todd Kennedy, but only 5 syllables. I love that. Dina says, let's see who she goes for. No, Brian says, I've got to go with Dr. Fink here. I've dealt with my old man's voice since I was a kid, and now I'm starting to thought. It's good for you, Brian. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. John says, I'm going to go with Larry on this one. All right, guys. So I'm going to count this thing down. I can't get all the votes. All right. Eventually, this hair will start coming out and look like a freak. So let's do this while I'm all nice and neat and pretty. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and a 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. You go know there's a 0 right now. So, guys, after round number 1, topic number 1, as it stands, Zab with 12, Larry Zbyszko with 11, Matt Fink with 9. So it's close. It's very close, guys and gals. Top 2 will move on to round number 2. And speaking of the number 2, we are on to topic number 2. I call this small screen stress relief. And when I wrote this down about a month ago, this topic at 2 a.m. in the morning, I was pondering what topic should I come up with. And what pops up? Married with Children. Married with Children pops up. So there you go. It came to me. I'm under stress. Al Bundy's making sure that I won't be under stress after those 25 minutes are up. And in today's stressful climate, we're doing everything we can to get a break from the real world sometimes. TV shows that provide a fantastic escape. And there's no doubt that life can be hectic and overwhelming. So we're finding immense comfort in some of those beloved and soothing programs on the internet, online, on TV, on our streaming services. To detach, to turn on a joy-inducing show is wonderfully relaxing. So whether in your mood to laugh at office hijinks or marvel at the wondrous beauty of the worlds with nature documentaries, or to be uplifted and inspired by the sweet sounds of C-SPAN 3 at 2 in the morning on a Friday night when your date Stacy was sick and vomited all over your shoes and refused to even say sorry, I digress. There's a plethora of programs that I'm sure will make you feel very warm and fuzzy inside and help you during those dark days. So, guys and gals, right now we're going to flip things around. Dr. Fink, guys and gals, Matt Fink will explain why, his show, I don't want to reveal what it is just yet, his television program helps him relax after a stressful day. Are you ready to go, good sir? Okay, Matt, if you just want to mute the microphone, and we will kick it off to you, my friend. Just have to unmute there. Matt, you just have to mute the microphone there. It's muted. Yeah, there you go. Not a problem. It's okay. All right.
Right there it is. We go. Sorry about that. Also, the connection is getting a bit garbled on your end too for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Larry and Zab, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It might be on yours, Matt. I'm not
sure. I
didn't
touch anything. I'm not a good computer guy.
All right.
Totally okay, well, Matt. Whenever you're ready, good sir.
Yes. I like to watch a Academy Award winning documentary film that came out in 2020 called My Octopus Teacher. And when you watch this show, it takes you underwater into a very calm environment, and you have this intimate look at the life of an octopus. It's so intelligent too. You learn how intelligent it is, and it has a lot of feeling. And you watch this bond that takes place between the scientist who's studying this female octopus, and then it's, trials and tribulations, and its survival throughout a year-long period, and then eventually it doesn't survive, just like a lot of creatures in the wild are destined to do. But at the same time, the underwater environment is so beautiful. It's off of the coast of South Africa, and it's a very relaxing show and very emotional too. You really become emotionally attached to this creature through this scientist, and even though you empathize with the creature, it's still very relaxing to watch and be in that environment.
Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate that, guys and gals. Matt, again, these legends are sharing with us a show that helps them unwind, perhaps, and relax. And that's what we do here, guys. We don't ask the same old. That can happen anywhere else. We're going to learn more about the person behind the persona, and why not? Because we can all exist together. We're not different after all. Mr. Matt Fink, I want to bring this up to you because
sure,
you guys truly did revolutionize through the revolution. The music sound, the way it was presented, the performance art, everything about it was iconic and, of course, revolutionary. But there were also some incredible legends along the way that you met and sat down with. In Wembley Stadium, you had a chance to talk with Mick Jagger. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting conversation. Do you recall elements of that conversation?
A little bit. It is quite a long time ago, but he was with his wife, Jerry Hall, and I was with my future and current wife at the time. And this was right before an after show party, and we were some of the first people there. So I was just kind of sitting at a table, and Mick walks up with Jerry Hall and asked me if he could sit down and have a drink. I said, sure, absolutely. But I'd met him, at least 9 years before at another, the time when we opened for them at the LA Coliseum in 1981. But so he sat down.
October of 81?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, we just had kind of a nice little after show. Hey, great show, Doctor, and it's wonderful to see you all tonight, And I, of course, inside I'm jumping up and down with glee that I'm having an actual face-to-face conversation with one of my idols. But I had to remain calm and collected and just, get into the conversation with he and his wife. And because it's so long ago, I cannot, unfortunately, remember the details of what we said. But we ordered our drinks, and I'm sure we discussed the show a bit and complimented one another's careers and all that stuff, And
I'm sure you're thinking in your head, hey, wait a minute, 9 years earlier, the audience wasn't as receptive. And they should have been, of course. But that's what happens when innovation hits people for the first time. They don't know what to make of it.
That's right. And Mick, of course, saw the innovation, and which is why he wanted to introduce us to the masses and to his particular audience. Unfortunately, his particular audience didn't appreciate Prince right off the bat. So that was quite an experience. I don't know if Zab and Larry know the story, but we had everything under the sun thrown at us on stage when we did our set of music for that show with the Rolling Stones in front of 90,000 people.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. And of course, Zab and Larry and Matt, guys, have sold out some of the biggest stadiums and arenas. And speaking of guys and gals, Mr. Zbyszko, who sold out many stadiums. And remember, without the advent of pay-per-view, just regional television, what happened in Shea that night was absolutely incredible. And then a decade later, selling out the Tokyo Dome right before Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. Mr. Zbyszko, if you could explain why our particular television program helps you relax after a stressful day, and which program that might be, please let us know whenever you're ready, good sir.
Well, you know what? Everything I watch on television is DVR'd. So I can sit in the recliner or the couch, watch it, and then when a commercial starts, I can fast forward through it and then get back to the show. So it's not interrupted. And lately, this goes back to even being the pro wrestler, because professional wrestling was the good guy versus the bad guy, good and evil. And I've got into this show. I've been watching it for a little over a year or so now. I can't believe how many episodes they made, and the writing was great. But it was, again, a show about good beating evil. And it was called Perry Mason. And I fell in love watching this show because there was so many episodes. The writing was amazing, the story. And it was like a game, too, because you're trying to figure out who the murderer is. I like murder mystery thing because you try to figure out who the murderer is throughout the show. It's like a puzzle. But it was very well done. So I've been hooked on Perry Mason for over a year, and I still didn't see them all. They must have made them for over 10 years. I'm amazed how many they made. And even the old movies are like Charlie Chan and Sherlock Holmes with Basil Rathbone. But it all had to do with good beating evil. But Perry Mason's the show I'm hooked on now, and I love it.
Hey, Larry, did
you? What? I can't hear him.
I'm sorry, Matt. Guys and gals, a little tech issues here, my friend. Mr. Fink, we cannot hear you, my friend. You might want to refresh, perhaps, and come back in, if that's okay, because we... You sure? Because we can't hear you anyway, my friend, so if you might want to just refresh, that might help for the next round, for the next topic. Just a quick refresh might help. All right, guys and gals, again... Larry Zbyszko talking about Raymond Burr. Guys, again, Raymond Burr played that role. We talked about this in the green room of this show, The Green Room, and we were marveling at the longevity of this show and how at the end of the day, Larry, it all came together. Even at the 15-minute mark, we thought it wouldn't. And the writing, the great writing behind the show really kind of catapulted it, I think.
Yeah, they had great writers. The stories were great. I mean, there's the puzzles trying to figure out who the murderer was. And then just watching the old shows, I'd see a car. Hey, there's a 1957 Chevy. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. And every room people were in, everybody was having a cigarette.
Right.
Not like the world today.
God, and I got to ask you this, too. We're going to kick it over to Zab Judah, guys, because, again, right after these luminaries and legends are giving us their points regarding these topics, talk about some of the stuff you guys did. Larry, you know, I brought this up, again, without the advent of pay-per-view, what you guys did, you were an innovator, man. Everything you did was used as a template. I mean, even the stuff with Killer Tim Brooks, you know, it sounds familiar with the whole buying of the title and everything. I mean, you were an innovator, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I was blessed. I was blessed, and I was taught by some of the classics like Bruno and Strongbow and Gorilla Monsoon. And I listened and learned, and I didn't have any really obstacles, but I had accomplishment because I listened and learned from the classics. And you had to survive in those days.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like the WWE today is a great company. And you get contracts. If you get hurt, they pay your surgeon bill. You sit home for 4 or 5 months recouping, they're paying you every month. Back in my day, if you got hurt, you're out of a job. No one paid you anything. No one paid you. So
you had to work hurt all the time.
It was a different, you know, it's a different kind of thing. But again, pro wrestling was a good versus evil, and that, you know, that feeling in me for justice. And why can't everybody just love it, the human race together? Why are we having wars? Why do we got medical people making bioweapons? What the hell are you killing?
You're right.
Somebody with your SUV running over a Christmas parade? What the hell are you thinking?
Well, you know what, Larry? It's because they weren't watching Perry Mason. They should have. They should have unwound. They should have listened to this topic. Our great leaders, right? I don't want to get on a soapbox, but our great leaders maybe should have done that. Larry, it's for the same reason why a lot of times we didn't trust our government. As soon as we started realizing things were happening under our nose,
we don't trust it now.
Well, the very first thing LBJ did when he picked up the phone one day during the Vietnam War was he told Uncle Walty, hey, man, you're killing me out there. I thought there's such a thing as an investigative journalism and journalistic integrity. But you know what? Now we know. Now we know what's happening. And regardless of your view on politics, it's good that we can come together and in this living room style conversation, talk about things that do matter. And maybe, perhaps, maybe we can forget why we hate one another for about 60 or 90 minutes. That's the goal.
There should be no reason. All the reasons people hate each other are made up. It's a deceit.
That's it. It's artificial. Artificial
it's a lie.
hate. Totally agree with you. Guys and gals, Mr. Zab Judah, again, Larry, legend, the living legend, Mr. Zbyszko, and Matt, Dr. Fink, a man who revolutionized music, are here with us. And how about a man? You want to talk about undisputed champions? Do you realize how rare that is? Do you realize how hard it is to become an undisputed champion? Only a handful. We're talking about a man that is in 2 Hall of Fames over here. He won't brag about it, so I will. But guys and gals, what does Mr. Zab Judah do after a long fight, a long victory, which he's used to getting those, a lot of victories? Maybe perhaps he's unwinding to a TV show. Please explain to us, if you can, Mr. Judah, which television program helps you relax after a stressful day, my friend?
Well, one of the television shows that I used to admire and I still watch to this day is, you know, after a long, hard day in the gym, you know, you got to remember my day starts at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up doing my road work. Then I'm back to the house, taking a nap, going back to the gym at 12 o'clock. After that, go back home, take another nap, and get back to the gym at 8 o'clock at night to finish up my conditioning. And then round this all over again for 10 to 11 weeks. So at nighttime, after I would come home after my conditioning gym, you guys remember the show Martin? Martin used to be on. Oh my God, that would just take my mind off of Martin Lawrence show. That would take my mind off of everything that was going on because I would get a good laugh, I would get a good segment and a good, some funny humor. And Cole and Tommy happened to be one of my best characters, and yeah, that would just get my mind off of everything that I had to do before leading up to the next morning and doing it all over again. So I would say the Martin Lawrence show was definitely one of my favorites.
Well, I like that because, comedy sometimes can help us come down. As you said, you're up at 5 a.m., and that's a really good example. One of my friends who's a writer wrote for Martin years ago and said, they couldn't get that first shot. Everybody was laughing. There was more laughter behind the scenes than in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how funny the
Man.
environment was over there. I want to bring this up, Mr. Judah, because again, I can't just brush this aside. Guys and gals need to hear this. With all of the people watching, in addition to your boxing career, which is second to none, you're actively involved in philanthropy. You're teaching nursing assistant classes and helping dementia patients. What inspired you to do that, Zab?
So my story is kind of long, right? So from 6 years old to 41 was my duration of boxing career, right? I never played no other sports. I never had a job. I never worked, but I always wanted to be a doctor. Always wanted to be a doctor. So partway through my career, you know, I found myself an opportunity at going through nursing school, and I became a CNA. So with a CNA license, I was able to go into a centers and help out with dementia patients. And I mean, that was one of the most touchingest things to my heart, man, because you meet a lot of people that were very successful, wise people, and then at a certain age, things just don't work the same way that it works, and they need a lot of help and a lot of love and a lot of guidance. And you know, I just, you know, it was in my heart to be there and help them. And even being a world champion, I was a world champion at the time, and I still took my time out and I hung out with those guys and nurtured them and hung out with them. And still to this day, I have families that still call my phone to be like, "Hey, my dad is asking about you." You know what I'm saying? My dad is still wondering how you guys are doing. And to know anything about a dementia patient, for them to still remember you years later, you must have did something special in their life, 100%. So you know what I mean? I mean, that was one of the greatest things that I love to do right there, was take care of people. And I still found myself from time to time going back to the center and giving my time still to this day.
As opposed to one of the least favorite things that you have to do, which is sleep. Because apparently you don't sleep. From what I hear, you don't sleep, man.
I don't sleep. Yeah, I don't sleep much. I'm always running. You know, whether I'm on the East Coast, West Coast. You know, I live here in California now.
Sure.
And you know, I'm a Brooklyn, Brownsville born child. And you know, these days, you know, I kind of get out of New York in the winters because the winters are too much, and I can't take that cold. So I got to go over to the West Coast and hang out with those guys. Yeah.
Man, guys, we're learning a lot about Mr. Zab Judah, Larry Zbyszko, and Matt Fink. And please, if you could take some of these lessons and really amazing stories that they're giving us here that they experienced firsthand, then that's a win already, right? I know it sounds cheesy, but we all win. At the end of the day, guys and gals, that's what this is about. Great conversation. And Joe Rositano was privy to this great conversation in this second topic as well. So, Joe, what do you know? You're up. Let us know who you vote for and why. Good sir.
Yes, indeed, I was privy. We like to talk a lot about Perry Mason, actually, and Raymond Burr's performance at the time and how he just goes, "Your turn, counselor." Excellent. Yes. So my vote actually this time is going to go to Matt Fink. While I think that all of these specific shows and places within this topic hold some kind of way to de-stress and encapsulate that, I also really like Matt Fink's description of a show that I've never even heard of. That sounds very telling of how the science and anatomy of an octopus works, and also just the calming nature of nature itself sounds like a very good time and something that you can easily de-stress to. So my vote goes to you, Matt.
Thank you. The calming nature of nature itself, unless you're up close with nature. But no, that is actually Matt told me about this show, and I took a sneak peek at this, and I could see why it does help him unwind. This is a fantastic show that I recommend for people to start watching and binging. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Guys and gals, let's bring in McKenna and see who she votes for and why.
Okay, so my vote is also going for Matt Fink, not just because I want to copy Joe every time, but because I found his description of my octopus teacher, I believe you said it was called. I found it very relaxing just listening to it. And I also think that animals are adorable, and it sounds like a documentary that I would love, and I would either cry to or be smiling through the whole time. So it sounds really nice. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, McKenna. Appreciate that, guys. Give a hand to our judges who are definitely listening and taking notes in the back and see that. And they're quite the talents themselves. Guys, right now, let's start counting your votes and see where we go. And we have one more topic. That's it. We'll find out who moves on to this very prestigious tournament, which started out as something that was fun. And let's not forget to remind you guys and gals that one of my best friends, who I did about 150 shows with, including one in Vegas live, is also one of Larry Zbyszko's best friends. A movie that Larry Zbyszko's in. We've been hearing about it. The Unbreakable Bunch. Larry Zbyszko, Tonga, Stan Hansen, DDP. Oh my God, Larry. It is Ernest Miller's in this film. Yeah. It is one hell of a movie, and what I like about it is that, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, you get your fix, but wrestling serves as the backdrop. It's a throwback to those great old adventures and sci-fi movie classics.
You know what? It's a science fiction action adventure movie. It's family friendly. It's not a wrestling movie. It's not about wrestling. Right. So if you're not a wrestling fan, you won't care because the movie was so well done. There's emotion, there's suspense, there's, you know, action. There's going to be times you're going to find yourself laughing, but you don't expect to be. And then there's other times you're going to jump out of the seat. Whoa! But it was really well done. I can't wait. It should be out within a month or two.
I can't wait for it. I cannot. I remember being a part of this journey, talking to Ray, of course, not being a part of the film. But just hearing the evolution of this film, and what people don't understand is it takes years for a show to get picked up. It takes years for a film to get produced, a record, a boxer who's a legend like Zab to get ready for being on that level, of course, of talent that he competed against. It takes years, a lot of time. You've got to love what you do, and maybe what you love will reward you, hopefully. So, guys, great film, Unbreakable Bunch. Let's continue to vote here. Andrew Red III says, Matt Fink, gotcha. Jim Baggs is keeping the score here of the game, 14-10 Bills. Thank you for that, Jim Baggs. Let's see. We have more votes coming down the pike. Unbreakable Bunch, guys. Hashtag that. It's going to be an amazing film. We have Joey Bag of Donuts voting for Zab. Joey Bag of Donuts. I knew a Joey Bag of Donuts in Queens. Interesting, says Joshua Davison. Olivia votes Mr. Zab Judah. Thank you. Lucas Scott, thank you, voting for Matt. And Tracy emphatically votes for Larry with 2 exclamation points. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Absolutely, Larry. Jane concurs, has Jane's vote as well. Okay. This is a hard question. So, Shaquila, okay, take your time. I don't see your vote yet. That's okay. John Red, these are all coming in live. They're commenting live. I'm going with Larry this time. My vote goes to Larry again. What a large audience. We appreciate that you guys humble us with your presence and taking us inside your living room. Michael says, I'm going with Larry. All right. This was a hard vote, but one must. Yes, my vote goes to Matt. Thank you, Julie Red. Hillary votes for Mr. Zab Judah. Kenyon Pride concurs and also votes for Mr. Zab Judah. Mr. Larry Zbyszko gets Joshua Davidson's vote, and Chad concurs, also voting for Larry. And make that a trifecta because Jeff Jr. votes for Larry. Okay. Shaquila votes for Zab, and Dina votes for Zab, Mr. Zab Judah. Deidre Smith does as well. Kenyon Pride votes twice for Zab. I can only count it once. You're voting twice there. Ed Hauser says, everybody's amazing, but I vote Larry when he said peace, and we should be nice to each other. He had me. Chantel votes for Larry from Australia joining us. Thank you. Mr. Zab Judah gets Jim Baggs' vote as Jim removes himself from that screen watching the Buffalo Bills. What a nightmare that must be, watching the Bills. What do we have here? Olivia voting for Zab. All right, Zab got me. Thank you so much. Guys, remember, there is no loser here, and we know that because we're all learning from one another, and that's the beauty of it, is that Matt and Larry and Zab Judah had never met one another, and now all of a sudden there's an interest and there's a bond, and I love that because these are men who are offering us their time, their mind, and their hearts, and that's wholehearted. Let's see some more. Okay, guys, I'm going to start counting this thing down, and then we got our last topic. Our last one, everyone has a different question for the last topic, of course. And remember, guys, we still have the Second Chance Bowl, so if anyone's eliminated tonight, they could get voted back, and that's only a stipulation that's available after round number 1. Stan Hansen, yes, Stan and I host a show called The Lariat. Stan is a sweetheart of a man. All right, here, let's see here, guys. Let me count this thing down. Robert Todd Kennedy, I got your vote last minute here. Let me pull it up, good sir. Mr. Zab Judah. Okay, cool. 10, 9, 8. Am I missing anything? 7, 6, 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Guys and gals, after round number 2, tallying this thing up, we have, wow, this is incredible. Zab Judah with 21. Larry Zbyszko with 21. Matt Fink with 18. This is real close. It's one of the closest ones we've had. We have had a couple three-way ties in about the 50 matchups we've had. But, guys, it's all about thought-provoking questions now because how well do you know yourself? You know, besides your favorite food and the type of music that you like, right? Despite the fact that, you know, you seem to come up with every little nuance for your first date, and you barely scratch the surface of who you are as a human being in said first date. Why don't you peel back the layers? Whatever you think you know about yourself, there's always another layer waiting for you to peel back, and you could discover a new dimension about yourself. Are you ready to gain some deep insight into your universe? Let's try. Larry Zbyszko, guys and gals, will answer this question. What habits would he want his future self to have and why? And then Mr. Zab Judah's question is, what random act of kindness in his life has he experienced that has stuck with him all these years? And then Mr. Fink will explain to us, when was the last time he found the silver lining in a bad situation, and what was it? So, Mr. Zbyszko, what habits would you want your future self to have and why, good sir?
Threw me off with that one because that wasn't on the questions you sent me.
Mr. Zbyszko, was that not the one that I sent you?
No, you sent me one about the silver lining and
silver lining. Guys and gals, Mr. Zbyszko, please, when was the last time you found the silver lining in a bad situation, good sir?
Well, you know what? And this is an answer that's kind of emotional to me. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can, but all human beings, we're beings, we're not animals. We're all inherently psychic. Living in the time we are, the Iron Age is very dense, so we really can't get into the power we have. But one thing happened to me, I'll share with everybody because I get goosebumps every time I think about it. My mother died young. She was like maybe 52. Her kids were gone, but she got MS. It took a year and a half to die. It was really sad. My grandmother and my mother were kind of psychic. It was weird. But I had a girlfriend named Kathy, and when I went to see Mom in the hospital, she already met Kathy before, but she was on her deathbed. And she said to me, you and Kathy are going to get married and have a son named Bob. And I didn't really pay it much mind. Next day, Mom died. But then a couple months later, Kathy's pregnant. And so we wind up flying to Vegas. Her stomach's already starting to stick out. We get married. We have a baby. And during the pregnancy, we find out our blood doesn't mix. That's why they do blood tests, I guess, when you get married. Our blood doesn't mix, and the baby, you know, had a bad chance. But the baby came out perfect, and he's perfectly healthy, even though her body was developing antibodies during the pregnancy. But we named the baby John. So we had a son named John, and we're both like 36 years old now or something. And then when the doctor said, you know, if you plan any more kids, she's going to have to go through a lot of shots and therapies because your blood doesn't mix if she gets pregnant again. But we shook hands. Now she was happy. No more babies. You know, we're good. Now here's the goose part, prophecy thing. I was a couple years later on the road wrestling. I get into a hotel. I lay in bed and I put a movie on the television set I'm watching. I call home, see how Kathy and baby, you know, John, who's like 2 years old now, how they're doing. Everything's great. And then Kathy says to me, Larry, I'm pregnant. And I went, oh my God, we did not plan on this. Now, you know, we know about the bad blood mixing situation. And the thing is, that gets me is what the prophecy my mother knew, because we're all eternal beings. The movie I was watching when my wife called and said she was pregnant again, and it lucked out because the baby hit her blood type. So he was born perfectly healthy and all that was great. But the movie I was watching was a movie starring Bill Murray called What About Bob? After the prophecy my mother said some years before, we're going to get married and have a son named Bob. So after all that, we named him Bob because we weren't going to have any more babies. but I mean, it's just something that is completely, ESP psychic. My mother saw the future on her deathbed, and it was amazing, and the whole thing. But I was watching the movie What About Bob when I got that call. So I just had to share that. I still get goosebumps and slightly choked up.
It's so interesting to know what we remember and how we remember it when it's associated with a loved one that has left us. And a lot of times we know exactly where we were. And as insignificant as a movie is or a conversation might be, sometimes we remember and can recollect everything so vividly, the way that you described it, good sir.
What about Bob? And my mom predicted that on her deathbed.
Isn't that something? And I told you this on the phone, actually. You remember this? Bill Murray's a fan of you. So there you go, guys and girls. I told Larry that.
Bless him. What a guy.
About a couple of weeks ago, yeah. Guys and gals, again. And then this is a man, Larry Zbyszko, who had no time to watch SNL or TV. He's on the road 7 days a week.
I missed almost 25 years of primetime television and sports, and because every night I was doing a wrestling show somewhere.
And that's so similar with Dr. Fink, with Matt Fink, and also with Zab Judah. Like, there is no connection to pop culture. You guys are living your dream, pursuing it every day.
Yeah. It's all on YouTube now, though.
Yeah.
Yes. It is.
It's somewhere. You can always get it somewhere.
That's very true. Guys, right now, again, these are all different questions. Mr. Zab Judah, what random act of kindness in your life have you experienced that has stuck with you all these years, good sir?
So one of the acts of kindness that I've experienced that really stick out to me, and I always I share this story with a few people, and it's very touching and dear to me. I was back in my championship days, I was in New York City, and I was just giving back, because I'm always doing give back, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all type of holidays. And this one particular year, I think it had to be like about maybe 1996. I met this guy in New York City that he was homeless. His name was Stanley Greenwood. And we was down there, we gave him some food, we gave him some water and everything like that. And he kept telling me about how he wanted to box. And I was like, okay, cool, just not knowing. I gave him my number. I said, come to the gym. He came to the gym maybe 2 weeks later. And long story short, Mr. Greenwood became Golden Glove champion. He turned professional. He made some money, got his life together, and he moved on. From that, I have 3 sons, and I teach my sons now. Now we live here in California, and we go down to Skid Row, and we feed the homeless, and we take care of them. And we ran into another gentleman. This is years later with my sons, and now this young man is on the same road that Mr. Greenwood was on. So like I always tell people, you never know who you can inspire or who you can touch by just going out there and trying. So that's one of my acts of kindness and giving back that's always dear and touching to my heart. It was a guy from New York City that I was out there just being me, just doing me, but I didn't know that what I was doing would allow him to come into my world and become a real boxing champion. Sure enough, I teach my sons the same thing. We met another young gentleman that looks and seems like he could possibly one day have a bright career and a bright future the same way.
That is one hell of a story. Wow.
It's real. It's true.
Helping someone out, and again, being able to pay it forward, which I love. Being able to pay it forward, but the hard part is being able to convince yourself to look back and pat yourself on said back and say, hey, I played a part in this. And I'm not saying that should be in a place of ego, but man, whenever you feel down, man, think about that, because you inspired someone to be the best they could be. There's nothing.
And that's why I teach my sons to do the same thing, because, what I'm saying, I'm like, pass that on, maybe one day they'll pass that on to their children, and their children will go out there and do the same thing. Each one, teach one, and help them. That's what I'm all about.
Well, you know what? I got to say this. I'm glad I'm not all about voting, because I'm not voting. I'm glad I don't have to vote here, guys and gals. Who resonated most with you because, again, these are stories that are heartfelt. Voting for something, it's not as if we're voting for our favorite basketball team or baseball team. Who resonated most with you? Who spoke to you? I think the answer is everyone. That's what I would type. Guys and gals, let's bring in our judges, Joe Rositano, for this final topic, and we're going to find out who moves on to round number 2 in a couple of months. And remember, guys and gals, next week, December 30th, one of the biggest shows we've ever had, one of the biggest Hollywood storytellers, actors, if you will be on here. One of the biggest wrestlers of all time will be on here. And of course, guys and gals, if that's not enough, one of the greatest Olympians, all 3 men will be closing out the year next Saturday night, December 30th. Mr. Joe Rositano, who do you vote for and why, good sir?
For this round, I'm going to have to vote for Larry, because with that, there is always the case that you can make your own happiness. And this is something that we've stated on here before. But at the same time, when there are situations that are out of control, it's your reaction that really determines a lot of that outcome. And you had a very unique and open perception and perspective to your situation, even when it got to the points where you could think that something horrible would happen. There were connections, little things that life brought to you and manifested outside of the zone of where we're not sure what is our reality. And that's amazing when you can have that actual silver lining happen for you, that real happiness. So my vote goes to you.
Thank you.
Say, Avi, I don't mean to interrupt, but
sure.
I never had a chance to answer my question.
No, guys and gals, you know what? This is, again, Larry was right. Mr. Fink's, guys and gals, Mr. Matt Fink's question is, what habits would you want your future self to have and why, good sir? And please, whenever you are ready.
I would say to take better care of myself health-wise, because there was a time when I smoked cigarettes, even though I quit when I was 30. If I would tell myself, definitely don't do that ever again. And also to write more songs and practice my instrument harder, my musical instrument, to even be more disciplined at my craft. That's what I would say to myself.
And you know what, guys and gals, that resonates with me. My dad didn't stop smoking until he was about 67. And he almost had to because of COPD. And it's, man, a lot of people talk about resolutions. They talk about what they're going to do next year. Next year starts now. It's a mindset. Thank you again for sharing that with us, Mr. Fink. Again,
you're welcome.
Guys, thank you so much. Little trade of questions here between Mr. Fink and Mr. Zbyszko. That's what it was here. But again, thank you so much for giving us your heart, Larry Zbyszko, Matt Fink, and Zab Judah. 3 gentlemen, class personified all the way. We're going to vote. Now, Joe, do you change your vote, Mr. Rositano?
Oh no, I'm still going with Larry and that, but I appreciate Matt's view of that, because that's a hard one for me too. I've had to make a lot of changes to my life now that I'm realizing, like, as I'm going through things, what is my future going to be? And
no, it's okay. You know what rhymes with Joe? Pro. You are a pro. Thank you, Mr. Rositano, for being a pro. McKenna, please let us know who gets your vote and why.
Yes. So for this one, I'm going to go with Zab because I thought his story was just so inspiring. Like, just hearing about Mr. Greenwood, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was really inspiring. And the fact that you are basically beginning the story again with another person, I really love to hear that. And that really resonated with me.
Thank
McKenna.
you. Thank you very much.
I know I sound like everyone's least favorite 8th grade teacher, but isn't learning fun? We're doing this on a Saturday night and having fun doing that. How about that? What a concept. No one's screaming or yelling or arguing over each other. And there's no pomp and circumstance when it comes to what our hearts and souls are giving you, especially with these 3 luminaries, Zab Judah, Larry Zbyszko, and Matt Fink. And I love doing this every week. This is what we do. Guys and gals, let's get your votes now and see who moves on to round number 2. Joshua Davidson says, Mr. Fink. Thank you, Joshua Davidson, for your vote. Okay. Dr. Fink, I am a total fan of yours. Thank you, Joshua, for those expressions.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay. Actress Ramona Howard says, well, let me pull this up. A lot of votes are coming here. I got to be like Clint Eastwood here. Click on the trigger finger with these. Good Vibes Lounge podcast. Happy holidays. Nice group of people. Chad, top 5, says, I vote for Zab in this final round. All amazing tonight. All great conversations. Phil Donahue says, my vote is for Larry. Thank you, Phil, for your vote. Jeff Reeder Jr. votes for Larry. He concurs. Christopher votes for Zab Judah. Edutainment. Yeah, please thank these luminaries for providing that. Tracy votes Larry, now with 4 exclamation points. I love it. We have Ed Hauser voting Zab. Man, it's been tough with 3 great men. You're right about that, Ed. You're right. Jeff says, my vote goes to Matt, Jeff Sr. Okay, got your vote there. Thank you. Julie Red votes for Larry. Rita votes for Mr. Judah. Thank you. And Mr. Resart. Mr. Fink is the best keyboard player. I loved his work on the 99 album. Thank you, Joe Resart. Yeah, he is. There's no doubt about it because I, too, was a fan of Mr. Fink and the Revolution. And maybe one day there'll be some news. Who knows? John Rett says, Avi says, go ahead, make my day. Hashtag TCAN. I vote for Zab. My mom met him. She met Zab Judah at a Give Back NYC, and she still talks about his positive vibe to this day. I love that comment right there. Thank you, Dina. Appreciate that. We have more votes. Zab all the way, says Lucas Scott. He gets my vote. A touching story. Melissa Figueroa votes for Larry. Thank you again. And guys, again, we know that this is not easy. John Red, I'm going with Mr. Larry Zbyszko. Only positivity here. You're right about that. That's the only thing you need in your life. Christy says, all were inspiring. Larry's passion got me. I vote for Larry. Thank you so much there. This was way too hard. I'm so glad Dr. Fink got his final answer, and even though it made my deciding harder, honored to have judged tonight. Thank you, McKenna. Larry is the greatest of all time, says Melissa. I concur. And as a human being as well, as Dr. Fink and Zab Judah are too. And everyone here, guys and gals, we get to see humanity at its best. More, and then I'll cut this down and zip the old lip. Alexander says, I'll take Mr. Fink in this round. Okay, thank you for that. Michael Elkins concurs and votes for Matt. I'm going to start counting this thing down. We are real close here. Jane Dubois votes for Matt. Gus votes for Mr. Zab Judah. Oh, my gosh. This is incredible what we have here. I've never seen the top 2 vote getters tied. Guys, I'm going to count this thing down. 10, 9, 8. There's a 7 and 6 and a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1. Then there's a 0. So, with that being said, here we're going to go. Count this thing down, guys, and tally it up. We're going to get the reactions of these incredible men who've given us their heart, time, and soul tonight. So, with that, with 31 votes and points, cumulative, Mr. Zab Judah and Larry Zbyszko with 31 points will move on to round number 2 of the celebrity tournament. But we also know Mr. Matt Fink will have a chance in the second chance bowl because guess what? Only a few individuals will be voted back. Probably gets my vote. There's no doubt about that because he gave us his heart and soul and mind as well. And behind the scenes, what you don't see is that this man is a gentleman. And I'm so honored to have gotten to know him. Mr. Fink, and any words for our audience, my friend?
Well, I just want to tell everybody how grateful I am to be here tonight and what an honor it is to be in the presence of the other 2 wonderful gentlemen. And you, Avi, I have a great deal of respect for your resume as well. So it's just, that's all I can say. I have a great time doing these kinds of things. I mean, I've done many interviews over the years, but this has been one of the most fun by far.
Oh, thank you so much for your heart. Matt, again, I know we're not going to mention anything just yet, but we should stay tuned, obviously, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how about this, guys? Let's bring this up as well, because I really want to bring this up simply because there is a lot going on right now. All of these gentlemen that you're seeing before you are extremely busy, and there's so much going on in their very lives. St. Paul and the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars.com is something we're going to plug. You're going to be out on the West Coast, LA, Oakland, and Vegas in March, I believe?
Yes, that is correct.
That's going to be where we can see Mr. Matt Fink. And, of course, the website itself will keep us posted as well.
Yes. St. Paul and the Minneapolis Funk All-Stars, which is comprised of Prince alumni band members from the Revolution and the New Power generation.
I can't wait to see it, guys and gals. A great music, a great human being, and
the Revolution 40th anniversary Purple Rain.
Purple Rain, guys. 25 million copy records sold. Thank you so much again for showing up tonight here, Mr. Fink. And again, have a great holiday weekend, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Great to meet you guys. Great meeting you guys.
You too, Matt.
Yeah. Thanks.
Matt Fink, guys and gals. Thank you, my friend. I want to talk to Larry in a moment, Zab, and then I'm going to talk to Zab one-on-one if I can for about 2 minutes. So, Zab, I'm going to put you in the backstage for a second, my friend.
See you, Zab.
See you later, my guy.
A little words exchanged there. I'm sorry. Little text.
Nice to meet you, Larry. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
I'm going to put you backstage for 1 moment, Zab, and I'm going to bring you right in, Zab. Larry, you moved on to round number 2. Did you have fun? You've done a ton of these. Did you have a lot of fun tonight?
Well, yeah, it was completely different. I mean, it's not like a podcast at all. And the stuff I was talking about was some personal things that happened to me and things that were beyond chance that proved to me that all human beings, we're not animals, we're beings.
Right.
And well, we could talk hours about the cycle of time we live in and all that. But we're all the same. We all have the divine power of unlimited imagination. We're creators. You know, animals, cats, dogs, they can't make airplanes or submarines or TVs. We can make anything we want because we're creators. We're one loving race of human beings. We're all the same, and we're all piece of conscious energy throughout the entire universe.
I'm glad you said
we're in this galaxy, but they're all connected.
We could learn a lot from each other through understanding each other and through realizing that we're no different than anybody else. Like, divisiveness is not something that should exist. And you're right. And I got to tell you this, I don't want to bore you, but like, that's why I do this show. I want to make sure people understand that even though we have different backgrounds and different nationalities and different beliefs and different passions, we are not different. We can talk about shows that make us unwind when we're tired or about obstacles we went through. And you epitomize that. I know you don't take compliments well, but please take one. It's the holiday season. In these short 2.5 weeks that I've gotten to know you, I consider you a friend already. And thank you for sharing your heart and mind, good sir.
Well, I'll tell you, you're welcome. And Avi, the way you talk and stuff, and you're amazing, brother. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, Larry. And we'll be seeing you in round number 2, my friend.
Well, thank you. Just call me. You got my number.
Larry Zbyszko, have a great holiday weekend, my friend.
You too, and have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody watching.
You too, sir. Larry Zbyszko, guys. Mr. Zab Judah, I want to bring you in right now. You moved on to round number 2, and man, you have done everything, media-wise, in the ring, out of the ring. Did you have fun tonight as well?
Man, I had a ball tonight, man. I had a ball. No lie.
Appreciate that, man. You are one heck of a competitor. Now that you're in round number 2, it would be nice to win the whole thing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're gonna win that. You know what I'm saying? I think only thing that lies here between us and the win is time. You know what I'm saying? When round 2 was announced, we will be moving on again.
Was it kind of nice to learn more about Larry and Matt Fink through these conversations too?
Man, these are guys that, you know what I'm saying, that, I heard about growing up and Larry's and with wrestling and everything, you know what I'm saying? I haven't heard much about Mr. Fink and stuff like that with the music stuff, but the wrestling, I was a fan, you know what I'm saying? So 100%, I grew up on a guy, and just to be, going at it head to head with him, this is phenomenal for me.
Oh man, I love it. You guys
I said to you, it's a number 31 knockout.
Oh God, he's still, you know what, guys? 31 votes for Zab Judah, and he promised the 31 knockout. You did, you delivered that.
Yeah,
man, you're gonna be round 2 in the spring, and I'll talk to you again after the weekend. Guys, please accept what I'm saying now, guys and gals and pals. You know I don't exaggerate. This is the man who stepped into his virtual arena with 3 hard-hitting topics with about 3 hours notice. Yeah. And he did it with a smile, and he did it because that's who he is behind the scenes too. And I thank you for that, my friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for thinking about me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Avi. Nobody do it like my boy Avi. Yeah.
A legend of a man, Zab Judah, and a legend of an athlete, Hall of Famer as well. Thank you for joining us tonight, and Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you.
You too, my friend. Zab Judah, guys and gals. Man, oh man, what a night. Easton, I'm going to bring you in momentarily in the back if I can. And I'm going to bring in Howard and Giselle. And of course, Joe and Julie and John and Mindy are here as well. But, I got to ask you a question here. Before I actually bring you in, let me bring in Howard. Let me bring in Howard first. Howard, you're a boxing aficionado. You're a fan. Zab Judah, was that someone you followed? Someone that you watched over the years?
Do you see this face?
Greatest middleweights of all time?
I don't know the details of his career, but I definitely witnessed a lot.
Remember that Floyd Mayweather fight? You remember about this guy unifying the titles, unifying them, all three?
That was amazing. When he entered tonight, I was just like, wow. The legendary career he brings.
Short notice too. Short notice.
What? I mean, that's people think this.
I mean, think about this for a second. So our boxing Hall of Famer was sick today, and he does feel better, but he was extremely sick. And he's like, I still want to go, but he couldn't. And he's like, his voice was hoarse. So I'm like thinking to myself, well, we promised a boxing Hall of Famer. Damn it, I'm going to get a Hall of Famer. But we only had a few hours to get a Hall of Famer. We got one of the very best in Zab Judah, the original boxer who was supposed to be here tonight. The hint was, do you remember? Super? Well, that individual is going to be here in January. So in January, we're going to see him. We ended up winning because we got two instead of, actually, we got a third boxer who's coming in January as well. A true legend, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. So again, as a boxing fan, you must be extremely elated to hear that bit of news.
Yeah, it's,
Thank you, Chad. We appreciate you, Chad. We appreciate what you do, Chad. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Chad.
I mean, when he went into that first topic and he talked about the story about that fight, I mean, I was like, oh man, I can only imagine the stories behind the scenes of so many of his fights. Well, but I also want to say, Avi, you also made some moves as well today. That's guys watching. It's not easy to do what this guy does, to be able to kind of make those last minute calls and connections. So. Again, applause to you as well. You made that happen.
Appreciate that, man. And what three great gentlemen. Matt Fink is a gentleman. Larry Zbyszko is a gentleman. Larry gave us that salute that he does so well, too, which I love. If you guys were fans of Monday Night Show, this is the voice, the soundtrack of your youth as well. Another Hall of Famer in this tournament in round two. Guys, again, don't go anywhere because we've got some amazing videos and surprises right now because we're still live. There's still excitement. If you enjoyed that conversation, there's much more to come now. But before we do that, I'm going to put Howard backstage and bring the judges in. Joe and McKenna, how difficult was it for you, McKenna, voting for the very first time, having a judge? Because how can you judge based on people's ability to personalize some of their stories, right?
Yeah, it was so hard. They all did a really good job, and they all had such interesting things to say. And they were all like different in their own unique ways. So it was hard to compare. You gave me the hardest one to judge. I'm pretty convinced of that. It being my first time, I'm pretty convinced
hardest
of that.
One. Well, you've been watching a lot too. Now, Joe, McKenna, great storyteller as well. We're going to talk about something coming up, actually. But, Joe, you've judged a lot of these. Would you concur? Was this one of the hardest ones to judge as well?
No, this was one of the hardest ones. We're getting a lot more influx now that people are watching what we do. They're actually taking the time to give of themselves. It's not a quick deal. But even in the moments when Larry went quick, he gave us all that information and all from the heart too. Yeah. So agreed. It was a hard one to judge.
Hard one to judge. Guys, McKenna, before you depart, and please feel free to still comment tonight if you'd like. But man, oh man, I mean, you've got a really cool podcast coming up as well. Tell us a little bit about it because I would love to be able to support it, watch it as well. If you're involved.
It's called You're Cool With Me. It's going to be me and my friend across the pond. And it has a lot to do with what you were talking about, kind of bridging the divide across differences, being able to talk about things and not hate each other, even if we disagree. It's really fascinating. The first episode is coming out on January 1st on Spotify and YouTube for sure. And it's going to be about mental health, talking about our experiences with mental health and also how we should communicate with others who disagree with us on mental health. So,
ooh, I like that. I like the title. You're Cool With Me. At first, I thought that Kate Hart was in a very serious fashion saying "You're cool with me" when she was commenting there. You're cool with me. You're cool with me. You're cool with me.
Oh wow!
I'm
impressed you
remember. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're fine. We're cool. Guys and gals, that is the name. You're Cool With Me. Listen, McKenna, you've also been amazing in our storytelling workshops. Have you been enjoying those?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're so much fun, and it's really. It's an honor that I got invited. It's just one thing after another. Like I've edited some of the videos for the new network, their shows.
That's right.
So it's crazy how I ended up getting involved. And I'm just like, it's amazing how these steps work out this way.
Well, you're a fantastic storyteller, a lot of passion. You're part of the advanced storytelling workshop on Tuesday nights. And I know Giselle loves having you there.
Nice.
I know Kelly White loves having you there. A lot of times when Howard pops in there, and of course John and Mindy Red, Joe Rositano. Listen, we love having you here. You judged so amazingly well. We're going to see more of you, maybe in a different capacity, maybe judging, maybe a bit of both. But we're going to find out more about your podcast on New Year's Day, and we're going to talk to you about it. And in the meantime, I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas and an amazing New Year, my friend.
Yes, you too. Happy 2024 soon.
Let's do it. McKenna, guys and gals, give her a hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, man, we haven't closed out the year just yet. We have one more next Saturday, and it's going to be a bonanza, an extravaganza, if you will. But man, oh man, what a night it's been tonight already, my friend. And again, you came in dressed, guns a-blazing as well, listening, taking notes. I got to talk to you about something you love. And guys, why not talk about something Joe loves, but times two. In a few segments, it'll be about something else you love. But let's talk about music. You know, Dr. Fink, we got to understand, this is a man that was part of a revolution and not just part of the band. This is a man who was an OG, an original, a man who stayed along, a man who Prince considered him one of his deep good friends, a man who wrote plenty of lyrics. This was an instrumental part, a human being that was not only a 3-time Grammy Award winner, but instrumental in the revolution of the revolution.
No, he created part of the sound that was so incredible. In fact, I think some of his best work was on Computer Blue, which is personally to me one of the most underrated portions of the Purple Rain album, which is a perfect sync, So for him to be on the show tonight and to also be able to alliterate his topics so perfectly, you got to give him credit, and also the credit to his history, as he said, Avi. I love it.
Well, I do, and he's such a gentleman too, and that's why I want to make sure that he understands that, you know, he's now qualified. We were talking again, and he understood the nature of the Second Chance Bowl. Maybe he'll be back. We'll see. But guys, I'm going to be back in a moment. I'm going to play some videos. In the meantime, let me bring in Giselle, put Joe backstage, and bring Giselle and Howard up here for a conversation. And if I interrupt them with a video, they'll know why, because we have a plethora of them. Giselle, Howard, what did you think of what we just witnessed?
They were very open tonight, and they had some fantastic stories that we probably never would have heard had it not been for this platform. What do you think, Howard?
110%. I mean, what are the chances that one of our new viewers, the name will come back to me, but one of our new viewers, her mom met Zab and had a great experience with him that she remembers 2 or 3 years, whatever years later. What are the chances of that happening? I think that's super cool. And I just have to say, we have it on tape. No one could do it like my boy, Avi. That was so cool. That was so cool. And again, this is the guy, guys, that came in last minute, you know, and 31 votes.
31. 31. He said, I mean, he literally said, I want to go for my 31st knockout, and he gets 31 votes. Giselle was tallying, so she can tell you. 31 votes. How incredible.
They were coming in fast and furious, Avi. They were.
31.
The fingers.
Hashtag that. We're going to even maybe have that 31 flash before your eyes next week on the intro with Zab. Why not? Guys and gals, let's bring in Joe and everyone for a quick moment. Let's put Joe on screen. Let's put Howard and Giselle backstage. Joe, as you know, guys and gals, the second half of the show isn't just about what the Green Roomers do behind the scenes. It isn't just what they do in front of the camera. It's also about what's coming down the pike. You know, we heard from Fred Ottman, right? Yes. What else is coming down the pike? There's a couple of videos I want to play, Joe. John and Julie are backstage. Again, they're commenting. Joe, I want to pull this video up. I'm going to pull you backstage as well. Yeah. And then we're going to start talking to our Green Roomers because their own talk shows will be debuting on YouTube Live. They've already debuted on the network. They'll be debuting on YouTube Live. That means The Voiceover with Joe Rositano, Paper Knife with Giselle, The Howard Show, Truly Julie, Cooking with Purpose, Changing Minds, Pete's Perspective, Have Your Fill. We're talking about Indie Tales, but also a D&D celebrity show with Kelly White. We're talking about Campfire Tales with Pinocchio Joe. We are talking about amazing shows. How about the Bloomosphere? I mean, if I'm leaving anything out, let me know right now. We have shows, guys and gals, that star the Green Roomers. And they'll get to give you a bit about who they are besides for just competitors and judges and Facebook individuals who go crawl across the social media landscape and remind you, watch our show. No, They have a lot that they're passionate about. We're going to learn about what some of those passions are. And Joe, it's all about giving people a second chance at the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
It's all about making sure that in this second chance bowl, you don't want to give anybody a second chance. Some people don't deserve it. Some people have already had 5, 6, 7, 8 chances. And some people, again, guys and gals and pals, may suck the life out of you. You don't want emotional vampires around you. But what I do want around me are competitors that know that under this umbrella known as TKN, there is a second chance if you'd like it. You got to vote for them. This Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Joe Rositano's page, Mindy's page, perhaps other pages, we're going to get a chance to vote for the 4th individual. That's 4 fingers that can come back. You can vote. All you got to do is go on Joe Rizart's Facebook page, Mindy Rett's Facebook page, a couple others maybe, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Check out our posts for more information. Here's an idea. Read them. And of course, guys and gals, you have the power because we love you. We love doing this with you. Let's make sure we break comment records tonight. We had 3,000 earlier already, but I digress. This Wednesday night, we've already seen Scott Winners voted back into the Second Chance Bowl. Truly Julie and JW. That doesn't mean they're in the second round. It means they now have their own brackets. If they win that bracket, they can advance to round number 2. Guys, a picture might be worth 1,000 words, but a picture's worth 1,000 words, but a video, in my estimation, is worth 1,000,000. So let me cue this thing up, and let's watch this right now and remind ourselves that there's others we could be voting for that have been eliminated. Here are some of the participants eligible for your vote.
This is not comfortable for me.
So that's not the only way that you gain confidence. You're saying that you can't gain confidence from not having a proper tutelage?
Like when you say, like, yeah, I played for Duke, your credibility automatically goes through the roof.
Hayden Gordon Wood, but you forgot about Vickers.
No, I just read Vickers, so I'm up on inherited wealth hunting.
And I would say that our students are facing a huge lack of meaning. At the end of the day, it really is about winning.
To win this whole thing, Ray?
Yes, I'm here to win the whole thing, man. I don't get in the ring for losing, man. I'm like in the ring right now. A lot of kids need to appreciate some of the things that a lot, not only Muhammad Ali, but a lot of people have done.
This is a little hard.
But you are here to win the entire tournament.
Totally. And I remember swearing, we saw Santa. We all want to win, right?
I didn't know there was a party going on. There was a splishing and a splashing, feeling with the feeling.
At the moment, it was fantastic. Now we're going up to mine them.
You're here to win the entire thing?
You know, winning is really important. But you know what's even greater is inspiring. And bro, that's what you do with this show.
Certainly about the prize, but the prize is pretty darn good too. And people still don't really know exactly how the ending of the movie really turns out.
Boycotting Lake Superior because I think it's a little smug that you have to call yourself Lake Superior.
Send some kids to Greece.
They're all great lakes.
Woody Allen movies strike me a completely atheistic Jew.
Relax, Mom. Ruth has got everything under control, don't you, hon?
If I'm lucky enough to win, I'll turn it back into the pool, manipulate people's minds with how you choose to represent things in the news.
Everybody has some pride. He's there on his knees. And there's blood running down his head.
How do you experience unconditional love? Well, everyone has experienced it, you know, as a child.
Somebody high up in the Pakistani government signed off on this, right?
You're here to win this whole tournament.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here to kill it. You find it. You got to find the book. Then you got to find another book. I mean, it took forever. And here we have it at the snap of a finger. I'm here to kill it.
Scandal happened. Again, it was during a time where scandals really didn't happen, especially in our pride in our baseball. But it did happen.
Hard and become solid citizens.
Do we get time off for good behavior?
Well, you want to win this entire thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to win this entire thing. I don't like the thing. I don't like losing. I think the biggest problem that we all face today, we're looking outside of our home for role models.
Are you here to win this whole tournament, Mark?
Yes, I'm going to win it all, man. And been to Russia, been to Guatemala, going all over the world, hopefully changing lives, and especially the will to survive. Don't ever give up. Life is precious, and so are you.
I'm ready, willing to do what it takes to win.
I don't know that he can do anything about the fact he's... Yes, he can. Boy's got the forearm smash.
He bought all new instruments. He built a sound room. He put like $6-7 million just into the fine arts program.
Eric, are you here as well to win this entire shebang, the whole thing, pride of the prize?
I have one line for you, buddy. I want to win it all. When Kennedy took office as president, the UN was strong and it stood for peace.
I was in it to win it, Avi. And she was a woman who was bold and daring.
Gotta go.
And completely in her power.
Not so fast, you're staying here.
And not afraid to die for her cause.
No, I'm not.
You ought to be damn lucky I don't bust through this computer and come there and show you what kind of jabroni you are.
Batman and Robin were so much of the blueprint for the buddy cop movies that became so huge in the 80s and 90s.
You know, I told Fred not to call Hauser a jabroni, but he insisted on it.
Was that what it was? That what it was?
And so, riddle me this, riddle me that. I am ready for this.
I'll get to these in a minute. Let's go to the match because...
From Notebook to Face Off to the Astronaut. I mean, to me, that's very versatile.
And it built so much strength in this title that later on, movies like Friday the 13th would get produced off of just the title alone.
Are you here to win the entire thing as well, the pride and the prize?
I'm taking no prisoners, Avi. I am here to go for the gusto. If you were to just rely on his achievements outside of the NFL, I would agree, it would be a wrong choice. But he was such an animal and such a force of nature.
Hydrochloric acid. He had 255-gallon drums of hydrochloric acid in his apartment when he was arrested.
We've been planning to go to Greece for a long time. It's going to happen now. Even if the credibility of the host is in question, there's still an entertainment value.
Passion make me crazy. Your existence makes me wild.
After seeing all the luminaries that came before me, I can't help but my type A get involved with this and have to want to win this thing. None of this technology you have at your disposal. We didn't have YouTube or American Idol or Snapchat or ways to put up videos and auditions. So you actually had to go to where entertainment was.
Anytime there's a challenge, I'm here. Having had the opportunity to meet Dr. King and seeing how humble he was, and he knew, he got a little glimpse of the future.
Second Chance Bowl, more videos to come tonight. As we ponder, as we think during this holiday season, who gets a chance to get the greatest gift of them all? A chance to compete in the most star-studded tournament that started a year ago. It's incredible when you think of numbers, because to me, they're not just numbers. These are not just numerals. We're talking about representations of human beings that gather collectively for one cause and one cause only. You see, their goal is not merely to win cash or a trip or two to Greece and enjoy some tzatziki sauce. No, their goal is to represent TKN, because Lost in the Shuffle was what I talked about a year ago. Mr., Mrs., or Miss TKN. One person will represent this network. We love round one. No one, and I mean no one, has complained that this thing has gone long. You know why? Because learning has no expiration date. Being inspired has no expiration date. Doing it consistently, week in and week out, is not industry standard. I don't like industry standard. I don't like this standard. I'm never going to be a guy, and bless their hearts for being fans, but I'm never going to be a guy that will have memorabilia in the background while I interview people in a podcast, because I'm not a podcaster. Just like all of you. I wake up in the morning and I don't stop. And that's how I'm going to approach this tournament, because I have not spoken in about maybe 6 months about my position in this tournament. I will not stop until I win this entire thing, because love never dies. And Tom Sizemore is a man that I loved. So hoisting that trophy, doing it for Tom, that's why I'm in this thing. We each have our reasons, don't we? Round 2 is going to get tougher. Topics are going to be more challenging. The rebuttals will be back. But one thing won't change. This and this. And when it all comes together, glory, glory, glory. Let me tell you a story. This man does plan on winning. And this man does plan on shaking the hands of the men and women that do not move further. The great news is most of them have their own shows under this umbrella, guys. TKN. This is where we learn. The respect and the friendship that has developed between me and some of these luminaries is not something I brag about because of their name. That's usually on some walk of fame, or their acclaim, or even their game. It's because of what they represent. I love what I do. And as long as I have one of these, and one of these, and to somebody who might be watching, maybe out west, one of those, you see that backdrop right there? That's TKN. I'm not going to stop. And if Netflix doesn't come a-calling, or Amazon Prime doesn't come a-calling, you know what? That's okay, Because nobody over here is guaranteed the riches and the spoils. We do this because we love it. And when you love something strong enough, two things can happen. It'll love you back or it won't. But either way, if you were the one that loved first, doesn't that make you human? We've already succeeded. Because humanity is something TKN is never lacking. Let's bring in the gang.
Hi.
Hello.
Jay.
Welcome.
Hello, Julie,
Hello.
Howard, John.
How's everyone?
I'm great. How's everyone else doing tonight?
Doing great.
Just
Ready
fantastic.
for the festivities.
Oh yeah. We just saw a really great match, and I also have to comment on the fact that Mr. Klein is claiming his spot for that trophy, for that crown.
He did say he was going after it, but I think he has some competition right here in all of us.
Oh yes, the top vote getter so far. You know, it was an impressive match, but there's definitely going to be some stuff to reckon with. Nobody's going to roll over. So
yeah. I mean, we just saw that video package there of, I mean, I wrote down myself that Second Chance Ball is in and of itself a tournament in and of itself. I mean,
absolutely.
Well, it is a tournament. It is a tournament. But guys and gals, the reason I went backstage was to answer a text.
Mm-hmm.
Our guests next week are competitors that are used to winning it all. One of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. One of the greatest Olympians of all time. One of the greatest stage forces and presences of all time. A man whose body of work, Drama Desk, Obi, Tony, this is going to be amazing. You think tonight was tough? God almighty, next week is going to be nearly impossible. We're going to break even more records to close out the year.
Oh,
so guys,
I love it. I love it.
with that, guys and gals, again, because we want to make sure that we still continue to show you how much we love you all for what you do, and your opinions and your voices count. So why not play a man who's expanded just like us? Our numbers have grown. His list has grown. We are no longer talking, guys and gals, about Chad's top 5. We are talking, guys and gals, about Chad's top 10.
Hey everybody, it's that special time. One more time. Merry Christmas, and I hope you all are enjoying your Saturday night, because I know I sure am. Well, for the top 5 tonight, we're going to change it up, and we're going to cancel the top 5. Avi and I have put our heads together and come up to the conclusion that the tournament is way bigger than 5 competitors spoken about every Saturday night. So we've come up with the idea of making it into a new show, which I would like to premiere tonight as the very first episode of My Top 10 on TKN. Thank you, Avi, for the opportunity, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. So, to top it all off and to start it off with, I'd like to start off with, hey everybody, it's that special time. One more time. Merry of My Top 10 on TKN. Thank you, Avi, for the opportunity, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. So, to top it all off and to start it off with, I'd like to start off with my very first topic, and that is my top 10 sleeper picks. And to me, a sleeper pick, no, that doesn't mean that they don't have a chance to win. It's quite the opposite. It just means that either A, they're flying under the radar, or B, you just probably haven't had a chance to catch the episode that they've been on, or you just didn't know that they're in the tournament all to begin with. Either way, these people, they can certainly come out of anywhere and win this whole thing. So let's start it all off with my number 10, and that is Miss Diane Franklin. She's a nice lady, laid back, very quiet, but don't let her fool you. She's a master of horror, and just like in any good horror movie, she can jump out of anywhere and take you out. So keep your eye out for Miss Diane Franklin. My number 9 pick, Mr. Gerald Briscoe. Another fine laid-back gentleman, very keen, very sharp, very, very knowledgeable. But don't pass one over on this guy, nor would you want to call him a jabroni. He's the one that does that to you. But like any good wrestler, like I know he is, he has a foreign object, just waiting to take any one of you guys out of round number 2. And that's why he is and remains my top 9 out of the 10. So, after my 9th pick, we go on to number 8, who is Mr. John Red. John Red, he's a very great guy, very knowledgeable, and he does his homework. Awesome chef by day, but watch out, because Saturday nights, he loves to carve up the competition, and you could be next, because he has a thirst for round number 3. My number 7 pick, Miss Muriel Hemingway. Another bright, talented actress who's definitely deserves to be in round 2. And she's proven that she comes along with a vast amount of knowledge, and she can take you guys out in a heartbeat. She's just waiting to find out who she takes on in round number 2. And man, I don't think I want to be in their shoes. So I'd keep a very close eye out for her, everybody. She's not just a sleeper pick. She's one of those ones that can go from the bottom that you guys didn't realize that was in the tournament to being one that could take all of you guys out. Number 6, let's jump right on to Megan Bloom Flute. This lady's very knowledgeable, a member of the green room, an awesome storyteller, and yes, she definitely has the potential to take out anybody in this tournament. You don't need to be a celebrity to always be a winner. Watch out for Megan, everybody. My number 5 pick, Mr. Dan Lauria, one of America's favorite TV dads. Another very laid-back, well-spoken man with heart and drive. And he's definitely a force in this tournament. So keep your eye on Dan, everybody. He may fly under the radar, but at any point, he's ready to drop bombs of knowledge all over any of his next victims. So keep a close eye out for him. Number 4, Mr. Fred Ottman, the Shockmaster, one half of the natural disasters, the almighty tugboat typhoon, a man with a huge heart and a love for the people. But don't look past Fred, because he has a vast amount of knowledge and a thirst for the pride and the prize. The tugboat is looking for his next victim. Number 3, the Green Room's very own Joe Rizard, the young gun, the voiceover, the man of multiple voices. If you didn't catch Joe in round number 1, man, you missed an amazing show. This guy is all around well-rounded, knowledgeable, and he is hot. He is just waiting to pounce on his next victim, and I would not want to get in the way of this young gun because he has something to prove. My number 2 pick goes to Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. This man was literally a last-minute entrant, got briefly and thrown into the lion's den at, the very, very last minute. He was behind all the way up until the round 3 and came back and took top spot and won that round. What more can you ask for? Period. That is why he is a sleeper vote. Many of you people just didn't know, and we didn't have time to promote him. He is talented. And finally, my number 1 pick, Mr. Kelly White. Another one of the green room's finest that there is. Well, Kelly, he's definitely one to keep a close eye on. The knowledge this guy demonstrates will blow your mind. And if you haven't been paying any attention to the blurring of the lines, we all know Kelly doesn't play well with others. He doesn't play nice, and he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty until the task at hand is complete. And for that reason, folks, that is why Kelly White is the newest number one of the top 10 on TKN. And I am your top 10 guy, and I would like to thank you all for enjoying the very first episode of the top 10. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, Chad's having fun, guys and gals. He's having fun. We're having fun. And guys, let's bring everybody backstage from the backstage area back here. Let's all do this at a count of 3. Let's give this man, Chad, a round of applause.
Great job. Great choices,
Chad.
Chad.
Awesome
Really good.
stuff from Chad. And guys, it does end right there. Hits keep on coming. Let's keep this going because we got the green rumors, guys and gals, starting with Truly Julie. You see the backdrop there. You look curious. We're going to talk about that backdrop in a moment. But how about this, guys? If it's not enough, you can send your own top 5 or top 10 lists. And this gentleman did as well. Let's listen to this man's top 5.
Ooh.
Everybody, Merry Christmas. It's Dakota Benson here. Just wanted to come at you with a top 5 video. But since it is Christmas time, I wanted to do it a little different. I wanted to do my top 5 as most influential people on this show to me. Everybody is such a blast to be around here. This is just 5 people that I thought really needed to know how much they mean to the world. Number 5 being Mr. Joe. Joe, you are an amazing person, amazing talent, and such a delight to be around. Always have a smile on your face, always right there, always helping out. You are amazing, true inspiration, and just a delight to work with. And I am honored to be a part of this team for one, and honored to be a part of anything that you're doing, Mr. Joe. Amazing job. Number 4, gonna have to be that top 5 Dixon over there, that Chad. Let me tell you, Chad, the number 1 fan. I love your videos, bro. I love your enthusiasm. I love your passion, and I love the intensity that you have for this team here and this awesome thing we call TKN that I am just so thrilled to be a part of. You are an amazing person, a true inspiration. Thank you so much, my very good friend. Number 3, it's gonna have to be Mindy, John. We're gonna name it the Whole Red Foundation over there. What y'all do by yourselves on your time with the trees, the picture, everything. Personally, you know why it means so much to me. You guys are changing lives for the better every day, and you're doing something that's so important. And it's such a pleasure to know y'all and to work with y'all. And on the other side of it, not in the amazing people that you are on the acting, the storytelling side, I am just so pleased to be able to work with such great people. Y'all are fantastic in what you do, and it is a true pleasure. Number 2, Mr. Howard, not skipping over you, buddy, all the way down to when I just started here. This man sends me a voice text on my birthday of him singing happy birthday to me. Barely even knows me. But little things like this and everything else, Howard, you just know exactly what I need to hear, and I'm sure it goes with a lot of other people. You know what to say, when to say it. You're always there. A true friend, and from somebody that don't have many of those. Thank you, brother. Thank you. You're an inspiration to be around and an amazing person. And number 1 is going to our fantastic host. You already know, Mr. Avi Klein. This man is the inspiration of inspiration. They picked me up when I was nobody. He gave me a chance, and he has done everything he can to make sure that I remember that I can do this. That I remember to believe in myself. Because he did what nobody else did. Not even me. There's no words for what you and this company have done for me, Mr. Avi Klein, and I am forever in your debt and forever thankful. You are a true inspiration, a true genius of storytelling and writing, and a true heart of gold when it comes to other people. It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to work with you. It's an honor to act out and skit anything that your excellence has written, and I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. That's my top 5 on this Christmas. I hope y'all have a great night. See you next time.
Man, we got the waterworks going over here. I got to do this again. Once was fine, but let's do it twice. Let's give this incredible human being a big, heartfelt round of applause. Thank you, Dakota. Thank you, Dakota. Appreciate you, man. This is what the holiday season's all about, guys and gals. Getting together with people we respect and care about. That's what this thing is all about. Thank you, Dakota. And you, again, take your roses, Dakota, because you are a special young man.
Yes, sir.
And you've got a lot of heart and talent and drive as well, guys. Whether it's Dakota outside, whether he's in a cellar, who knows? Either way, Dakota Benson, guys and gals, has a ton to offer. Guys, but you know who else had a lot to offer back in the day? Every now and then, we always think about people that we knew. Might have been a friend, a significant other, might have been someone else's significant other. Sometimes people all wish they could have had Jesse's girl. And to discuss that a little bit further, let's just put the gang in the back here. Even Miss Truly Julie, I'll bring her back in about 30 seconds, but Miss Truly Julie was at a concert here. And let's take a look at where she was, who she was listening to, who she was recording, and whether or not he sang the song of all songs. Rick Springfield? Jesse's girl? Truly Julie? What could happen? What could go wrong?
I am going to see Rick Springfield in concert tonight, and should be fun. Okay, bye.
Nothing's changed, it ain't hard to define. That's the girl and I wanna make her mine. And she's watching with her eyes. And she's with those eyes, I just know it. Ricky Springfield, the buddy of mine. Jesse's girl, I'm so jealous. I wanna have Jesse's girl. Did you be with me? What can I have a woman like that?
Indeed. Why can't you have a woman like that, Alfred Molina? You're a big star. You're a thespian. Julie, why can't Alfred Molina have a girl like that?
I don't know. Maybe he has several girls actually with his open robe and stuff, and the way he sang that so melodically.
Man, you were at the Rick Springfield concert. As you see, Alfred Molina calls him Ricky. He was a buddy of his, Ricky. What was that like? Was that how he closed out the night, or what?
It was actually, that was the song everybody was waiting for. It was such a fun show. He really did put on a good concert. It was very intimate setting. If anybody is from Phoenix, Arizona, it was Celebrity Theater is actually what it's called.
It's stuck in Ed's head.
Yes, see? Oh, it's the best. And you're gonna see that Vision too, dancing around with his robe open.
I was gonna ask, Julie Hall found it funny. Did you find the unveiling of Alfred Molina? Was that what was funny? Everyone wanted to see Jesse's girl when I was growing up. Who was she, Julie? Who was Jesse's girl?
I don't know. I never really looked past the song. I just wanted to enjoy the song, so I never really did a deep rabbit hole dive on that. But I think it is based on a real person, but I don't even want to know because there's something left to be, mysterious and just wondering. It could be anybody. Maybe Jesse's girl represented a whole bunch of women, right? Could be. You really can't get enough of that. I
You realize that that's going to be a thing now, right?
It has to be a thing.
You realize that I just started a thing now, right?
It can't not be a thing at this point, right?
Hey, YouTube land, I started a thing. Go viral already. So yeah, that's going to go viral. I'm going to force it to go viral. I'm going to do what the Nasty Boys did. I'm going to force my way into, like they forced the way into round 2. This thing's going to go viral. Alfred Molina and his rendition of Jesse's Girl needs to go viral. And so will Truly Julie, because Truly Julie, as you see, guys, will also be a lot of fun. Yes, we're going to discuss Julie's amazing journey into motherhood and raising a beautiful child as she does, but also some of the things that she enjoys, because we talked about unwinding earlier, didn't we? Well, sometimes we need to decompress. You went out to a concert and it served its purpose, I think.
That's right. I did. Man, I love music, and you guys will learn that about me. As a matter of fact, Prince was one of my favorite musicians growing up. His music really shaped me, and I really truly mean that. So
to the band, The Revolution.
Oh yeah, going back to Prince in the 70s, actually, when he had his Controversy album, and then when he had.
Well, Mr. Fink joined The Revolution in 79, one of the first members in 79.
Yeah.
And one of the longest members, too. And he was on tonight. Yeah, love Prince. So are we going to talk about music on Truly Julie?
Yes, let's do it. Because I love music. It really takes me away at different times. Even, when you get ready. And I know we talked about workshop, too, earlier. And how we did this exercise in workshop about how music takes us other places, and you can get prepared for different things. So even getting ready for a show like tonight, I put on, it's funny, at the end of the year, you go to I have Amazon Music on my phone, and it says your year in review. So I'm like, oh, what is that? And I clicked it, and it was a lot of, older dance music and stuff like that. So it was very fun, and it got me.
Now that we found love, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah,
guys and gals.
Exactly.
Listen, Truly Julie's going to be a fun show. I want to talk more about this, guys. Let me put Julie backstage. Remember, next week we're going to bring back the questions. We're going to have more questions. We're at 2 hours and 46, but right now I want to bring this up, guys. Julie, why don't you stay on screen with me here? Let's bring in Joe. Let's bring in Howard again. John Red. Mindy's going to be joining us soon as well. John, I'm going to talk to John next. John, I want to bring this up because you are keeping tabs of the football game, and there's a reason why, guys. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But guys, again, we talked about how we can go viral and all that stuff. What does that mean? It means more people could sample what we have to offer, which hopefully will be positivity and edutainment across the board. And in case you guys want to know about what's been happening with TK in the past month or so, maybe this quick 1-minute video will give you a glimpse into what's been happening.
Okay. I can't work.
And it went up to 7.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh. It's like New Year's, holidays, and the beginnings of something very wonderful all wrapped up into one. And I know I saw somebody's comment pop up that said, we've barely just begun. And isn't that so true, Giselle?
It absolutely is. This is our first year as the new network, as a brand, as a company, and we are going to go even further in 2024. We've only been on YouTube for a few months, so this is really exciting to see the number of commenters, the number of subscribers we have, and the number of views going up each and every week. And that just makes my heart happy that so many people want to see what we are offering, what we are providing, what we have to give, and how it fits in with all of these different lifestyles and topics, because we have a show for everyone on any topic imaginable. What do you think, Howard?
I mean, a thought occurred to me today when I was just watching our great competitors tonight, and I wrote this piece down saying, thawing away the cold differences that separate us. And I think that's something that, Avi and Larry were really kind of talking about, that this conversation that we have, the differences that we're able to kind of look past and see as, just meaningless. These differences that we put. And I think that's so much a part of what we're doing. And I think the people, it's resonating. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm just grateful
for the invention of thongs.
And for the invention.
I was like, we're going to go viral with that, Howard.
And for the invention of Melina,
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't blame Howard Collado because, there was I haven't watched wrestling in 20 years or anything. It's an amazing sport. But there was a man named Goldberg, and what did he used to say? He used to say he had a question after he would beat someone. What was that, John Howard? Do you remember? What was that question Goldberg would ask?
Next.
He'd ask who's next. And the reason I say that is because, for a while, people have been trying their best and their dandiest, which is a word we need to bring back and resurrect.
Dandy.
People have been trying to figure out who will finish up round number one, because some of the biggest and best names have still not appeared yet. So guys and gals, with that, on Saturday nights, right here for free, where there has now been officially 70 Hall of Famers from wrestling, music, sports, along with Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, and AMA award winners and nominees, and Olympians. Who's next? Indeed, who might be next? Are these individuals next? I'm not saying they are, but I'm also saying that they may actually just surprise you as early as next week. Will they or won't they? Who is next?
Oh. Do you think they're people we have seen before?
Papa Smurf as a hip hop artist?
Yo! Yeah! Want some of that?
Sweep the leg.
You're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5. 10 is no one's perfect, but honest to God, you're terrific. You do your homework, and I appreciate I've done that. Everybody.
You turn your daughter into a damn space.
Get your hands off!
I'm trying to help you, damn it!
Actor was a really good actor, and my brother, I experienced it. So at 6, I remember at 6, I went and saw a movie by myself in East Lansing, Michigan, a Burt Lancaster matinee. Walked home and said, I want to be in movies. And was imitating Burt Lancaster. I came home and I said, I want to be an actor. I'm going to be an actor.
She was late.
Your records.
Past performance has nothing to do with today's situation.
Okay.
And commitment to it is you have to start with something that you didn't earn, that you were given, and that you have a responsibility to develop, but it came first. The other thing about greatness is it is very relative and depends upon the society that you're in accepting you, giving you.
Jim, look behind you. Look behind you. Turn around. Behind you. Oh, turn around.
I hope you're getting paid a lot, because that was the greatest intro I think I've ever had.
Nothing against Punk'd. Really just kind of targeted celebrities. Sacha Baron Cohen focused on people with lower IQs, but the Jamie Kennedy experiment
That's
was
so funny you said that. I love Sasha, but let's be real. He wasn't pranking anybody in New York.
A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
There you go.
Wow.
Love it.
Well, it could be. It could be someone from the world of sports, guys and gals. And as you know, during the holiday season, we truly do enjoy our sports, don't we, Mr. John Red?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you got there in your backdrop? What does that say over there?
Well, this is the 2023 playoff picture, is what I was going to talk about. And, you know, it's been many years since I've really paid attention to the playoff picture because my team, they weren't doing so well.
Maybe it's because the Houston Texans were stinking up the joint. It has something to do with it.
Bad. It was bad. And, you know,
was it Buffalo Bills bad?
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't that dire yet.
Rip your heart out bad. But,
no, not that bad. No.
It was pretty bad. But we got a new coach, and we have a new quarterback, and things have turned around quickly. You know, no one really predicted that we would even be in this thing, much less really be having a chance to maybe win a division crown. You know,
but you did your due diligence, guys and gals. As we keep John Red on screen over here, check this out.
Man, and it feels good to be relevant in December. It's been a while. It's been a while since I even cared about who was in the playoffs, who had what seedings, playoff pictures, any of that stuff. But it's a new year, man. And my team, the Texans, they've got a new quarterback. They got a new coach. Things are looking up, man. No one predicted that they would turn around this quickly. But everything, the stars of the line, everything, heck, we might even go for a division crown. But tonight, me and Avi are going to discuss the playoff picture, both the NFC, the AFC, the games coming up this week. It's going to be a great time, man. So, strap yourselves in. Get ready, because we're going to have the inside scoop.
That's it.
Steelers are finally getting a win there, guys and gals, tonight. I just checked some of the scores here as well. John Red, it is tight. It is tight in a lot of different places. Am I right about that?
You know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of parity in the league right now, you know, and there's a lot of people who really don't think it's a good thing, you know. Me, for one, I like the fact of not having dominant teams just tearing. Now, there's still some good teams and some really powerful teams, but the parity's there. Things, you know, it's any given Sunday type deal. You don't know. I mean, it looks.
There are a lot of teams jockeying for position. We do know
for
that.
Sure, you know. And
what about this here? The mechanic guys, your comments will always be read. We're talking Bengals Steelers. That upset me. Why was that a game that upset you, McKenna? Let us know. Maybe John could give you some feedback. But as you were saying, John.
Well, the Bengals, you know, they were fighting for playoff position themselves, and the Steelers have struggled. And they came in there, and the Steelers whooped them today. Blew them out. It was like 24
34 to 12, I think.
13 or something. It was,
yeah, they really
was
did
over almost by halftime. I believe it was over. And
injuries are playing a factor right now as well. All right, we're starting to see those knick-knack injuries all of a sudden adding up because there's 6 star players right now who are shelved, and that's going to really affect the standings, John.
It really is. And, you know, what's really happening is a lot of backups are coming in, and they're actually performing pretty decent, just kind of to keep the ship afloat. You know, that's kind of what we're in Houston right now with C.J. Stroud was hurt,
Yep.
got a concussion, missed last week. Case Keenum came in. He led us to the victory. Now, he may have to do the same thing again tomorrow because we play Cleveland, and Cleveland is ahead of us in the standings, but we really can't afford to lose because our schedule is a lot tougher than the Jaguars are down the road. We may just have to win out to get to the playoffs, and it may be through a division crown, and it might be through the wild card.
Praying
But,
that some
wild
teams
card-
lose as well, right? We need some losses. But you know what? I want to talk about a Cinderella story because last year they gave us that in the first half of the season. Now, those Detroit Lions, man, great story. Great
For
seeing them
sure.
kind of keeping up the pace, right? Because we know they've got passionate fans who have suffered a lot. They suffered for many, many years. They've had a couple of good, decent playoff runs. Of course, growing up, we knew about the Barry Sanders-led Lions. They didn't go that far either. Do you see the Lions as a possible threat, John?
You know, I really liked the Lions last year. You know, I mean, Jared Goff's a good quarterback. I mean, I used to have him on my fantasy team, so I watched him a lot. And LA traded him kind of like in his prime, and I think they're going to regret that. They need to get a Super Bowl out of it, so a lot of people trade that. But I love their coaching staff. You know, they got, you know, they're good offense coordinator, good defense coordinator. They've got what it takes, and you know, Detroit's been the lovable losers for so long, and even like when you see them on Thanksgiving, you're like, do I really want to watch the Lions? But
I think they're winning the division. It looks like that to me. I think they're going to win the division.
Sure.
I know that the Minnesota Viking fans think they're going to win the division. Their odds. I mean, you look at the odds lines when it comes to the Lions, guys and gals and pals who watch football. Again, if you are a Lions fan, this is the time to be a Lions fan.
Sure.
Reading some comments. Them boys are here. Yeah. Detroit has had many issues, but let's see. Michael, what do you say, Michael? Let me see here. I'm a Dolphins fan all the way.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let us know why. We'll always read your comments here. My
Dolphins are
poor
fighting now.
Giants. Yes. Sean Archer. Nice to see you, Sean. Detroit, great leadership on their way. Sean, I will contact you most likely tomorrow, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Sean's been with us for years. Definitely impressive. The backups are showing that they aren't just signal callers. Great comment there from Shaquilla Daniels. Texans versus Seahawks Super Bowls. Andrew Red III is predicting it, making it official. John, with about 3 hours now, we're going to keep on going here. But guys, the purpose of Cooking with Purpose is to remind you that while you're cooking, maybe it's best, just like when I do my cardio and workouts, to entertain yourself. Watch your little ball game. We're going to be talking about football during Cooking with Purpose Live, aren't we, John?
Absolutely. You know, it's something I'm passionate about, and you know, like one of the things that when you're cooking, you're going to have conversations in the kitchen. You know, it just happens.
Yes.
I mean, no one wants to be in the kitchen cooking by yourself. You got to have somebody in there talking to you. And what better things to do than talk about sports right now? It's a good time to be a Houston Texan fan, a Houston Astro fan, and also a Houston Rockets fan. I mean, my daughter just told me today, hey, Dad, you know,
did you say the Rockets?
Hey, man.
No, you're pushing. You're pushing right now.
Well, the Rockets have actually won more games this year than they did all of last year, and so that's not saying a whole lot.
It's not saying much. They won about 15 last year, John.
Yeah, it's early, so I feel like we're gonna, you know, we're on the right track with them as well. It's we still got a little ways, but they're fun to watch.
Basement dweller Rockets, no, but hey, I'm still a little bit peeved. What do you expect, man? It's coming up on that 30-year anniversary where your Rockets smoked my Knicks in 7 games.
We were talking about that too. I was talking to my daughter. She's like,
God
we're talking
almighty.
about the '90s, and you know, she does what every fan does when they start talking about, well, you know, if Michael wouldn't have retired, y'all wouldn't have won back-to-back. And I was like, well, you know,
Michael didn't come back. You guys would have had your own 3 pizza. There you go. Nobody was stopping Akeem the Dream back then.
Nice,
Bills won 24-22. It is a Christmas Day miracle. I love that. Guys and gals, the Bills have won. Stop the presses. John Red, guys and gals, Cooking with Purpose will be live as well on our YouTube channel. Let me put you backstage, my good friend.
Yes, sir.
The one and only John Red, who again is many people's sleeper picks. Chad picks him to maybe go further in this tournament. I would as well. John's a great competitor. Guys, speaking of great competitors, let's bring in one of the first individuals who made it to round number 2, Giselle. She has a show called Paper Knife. But because it's this time of season right now, I know a lot of us in the back as well have been talking about this video I'm about to play. A lot of us are looking forward to seeing it because it's a festive time of year. What does Giselle do with her time during this time of year, I should say, during the holiday season? Let's take a look. There we go, guys and gals. Let's bring in the host with the most of Paper Knife, Giselle. How are you?
I am great. How are you, Mr. Klein?
I'm doing really well, especially since, we talked about it. Larry Zbyszko brought up how great it is to speak the truth and be honest. And I feel liberated by admitting something that I've been holding deep down for such a long time. I admitted to you and to all the masses that it's a foregone conclusion that I'm winning this whole tournament. I do feel better. I do feel letting the world know that there is no stopping Mansoor Klein here in this tournament. But the first person that disagreed with that was you, Giselle. Yeah.
I certainly think you can win this entire tournament, but I also think I can win this entire tournament, and Joe can win this entire tournament, and John can win this entire tournament, and Howard could win this entire tournament, and even though she's not in round 2 yet, Julie could win this entire tournament, and Megan, and
you're right.
Really,
so
anyone?
While you're working on thoughts and thinking about who might win, I'll take the probability out of it and just make it easier for you and say I'm going to win the whole thing. That's what I'm going to do here. But guys and gals, listen, I haven't talked about me as a participant in a while, so give me a break here. No, I do think that every participant, including Giselle, is strong. Julie strong, Joe strong, John strong, Mindy strong, Howard strong. We know that Pete Sharpie is strong. You faced him many times. Even though some of those have been eliminated, we've got a strong nucleus here, guys. Anybody could win this whole thing. I take everyone seriously. I take Paper Knife seriously, and I also take the show seriously because we do get to talk about the stage. We get to talk about poetry, things that are near and dear to my very heart. But what's happening this time of season? You love being able to surprise people with gifts. What were we looking at that video, and what inspired you to, I guess, create the video that you did?
I do. I was making Christmas cards, holiday cards for my friends and family. And it's not just this time of the year. I love sending people little notes in the mail all the time. Sometimes I can be a little bit old-fashioned, if you will. But the joy you get when you receive something in the mail and it's a note saying, hey, I thought of you a couple days ago and I wanted to send a message to you. And it's extra special because it's handwritten. It's time you've taken to show that you care. It's
very heartfelt.
You put extra thought into it. Sure, you can send a text thinking of you. And that's great as well. Send an email thinking of you. That gets sent off in 2 seconds.
I do think it gets a great reaction from people because not to blame those who, again, are emailing or sending something in a more conventional manner, perhaps in today's day and age, but it's great to know that somebody actually took pen to paper, literally took their time to put together a note or a letter, perhaps maybe send a package the old-fashioned way. Sometimes it's eBay, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's UPS. But either way, it's great to know that someone who is maybe near and far from us, regionally speaking, demographically speaking, maybe they're not exactly in our geographical area, to know they're still thinking about you during the holidays is awesome. But it looks like you've got a lot of work to do because we know there's a lot of people in Camp Giselle. There's a lot of people you send gifts to. So how many times do you actually have to ask yourself, do I send that bastard something or not?
Oh, no, it's always worth it.
It's always worth it.
It's always worth it.
Even if they're jerks, huh? Even the jerks get gifts?
Especially.
Even the jerks get gifts? Do they get alligator jerky?
Grinches get gifts because then their hearts grow 3 times.
What about alligator jerky?
Oh my gosh, alligator jerky. If y'all have not tried alligator jerky, you have to try alligator. It is so good. Fried alligator, alligator jerky, alligator sausage.
It's good.
Let's not taste like chicken. I know that's the first thing everyone's going to ask.
Everyone says that tastes like chicken. Let's pull up comments out of context.
I'm telling that right now. It does not taste like
eating alligator jerky a lost art? Is it a lost art, eating alligator jerky?
Alligator jerky? No, not eating alligator jerky. I think handwritten letters are possibly being a lost art, but not alligator jerky. Alligator jerky is delicious and timeless.
Okay, there we go. Howard says he's lost something here to some degree. What has he lost?
I'm not sure. Howard, can you elucidate on that comment just a little bit for us, please?
Expand. Make us feel special in the mean world. Subjective. Yeah. Ostrich jerky is great. We lost that personal touch.
Ooh, we need to try ostrich jerky.
You were right about that. We Sean, where's my gift? Gator Tails rock.
Good to know, Sean. I appreciate that.
Never tried it. Sounds interesting. More comments, guys. Paper knife is a lot of fun as well, guys. We delve into the craft, but guess what? That's fun. But getting to know Giselle, getting to know all these great storytellers and these friends who become family. I've learned a lot of things about them recently. I learned about some of their interests and passions and hobbies, and seeing them be able to share that with you, I think is a gift, because for me, it is. Every time I pull up these videos, it's a gift. I get to learn more about Giselle. I get to learn more about Julie and Howard and Joe and John and Mindy. And that's what our shows are about. Remember, they're going to be live, so you can interact with us the same way you're doing now in January. Paper Knife, guys and gals, is a loaded show. Plenty of segments, plenty of guests, plenty of different topics, fields of interest. We will cover it all live with the hostess with the mostest here, Giselle.
Thank you. Yeah, we're only 4 episodes in, so there are plenty of segments still to debut and come. But Paper Knife is a lot of fun, and we'll talk about all of my passions, and you can see all of the little clips of those on our other socials, on our TikToks and our Instagrams and everywhere else as well, because we want you to know us and what drives us so that you can understand why these talk shows are so important to our being.
I love that. And guys and gals, remember, stay tuned for a complete analysis of alligator jerky if you've never had that. We are going to find out what the hell this thing is. I'm curious to know as well. Giselle promised me she's going to send me some. So, guys, Giselle, host of Paper Knife. Let me put you backstage, my friend.
Thank you.
Giselle, guys, let me bring in from one friend to another Mindy Red, guys, who looks very festive. Mindy, how are you?
Hello. Happy Christmas Eve.
You've been waiting all year to say that, from what I understand.
I have been waiting all year to say that.
Yeah, it's a very festive show tonight. Very pulls at the heartstrings. And really, I think this show epitomizes who we all are to one another. I love it. I'm not going to be long-winded about this, but you guys mean the world to me. And, you know, we talked at the beginning about shows that help people unwind. I know that backdrop right there, Friends, is a show that helps you unwind because you're changing minds. You're helping a lot of people. Your cat's over there trying to photobomb everything, and that's fine because you know what? Bring her in. Bring your cat in. Hold your cat. It's Christmas. Guys and gals, bring her in. Let's meet Mindy's cat. But now she doesn't want any screen time. Not like that, no. Mindy.
He's heavy.
Yeah, we got PETA coming after us. Guys and gals, thankfully it's Christmas Eve weekend. PETA's on break. Mindy Red, she loves her cats. She loves her dogs. And she loves her friends, but she also loves unwinding, watching Friends. In case you need a visual, here we go. This is Mindy doing just that, watching Friends and unwinding on any old given night.
Every day.
You know, just when I thought I would feel warm and fuzzy listening to that opening theme, I really don't. So, Wendy, when did you start watching Moochers? I mean, Friends.
Oh, man. It was probably, season 1? So what is that, 25 years ago or so?
It must be.
I mean, I was 16, 17 years old. How long
did it run, though? How long did Friends run? How long
10
was
years.
it on there?
10 years.
Oh, of course, the Miranda Tiffany sighting who loves Friends. Miranda. I knew Miranda would pop in talking about Friends. Miranda, I talked about this earlier with Mindy. I'll tell you the least favorite friend I had on that show. It was Ross. He was nasal. He was whiny. He was tall and whiny, and he whined some more. And if I wanted to watch a guy that was nasal, if I wanted to watch a guy that had the same color hair, if I wanted to watch a guy that was self-deprecating, I would click over to Seinfeld and watch me some Jerry Seinfeld because that character was a jerk, but he embraced his inner jerkness. Ross was the depressed version of Seinfeld. That's who he was. He was depressed. Let's see. If I have channel number 1 and the guy that I just mentioned, the aforementioned Ross character, who says, Rachel, I just want to love you. Why don't you love me? If I have that guy, or this guy, Kramer, why are you bothering me at 2 o'clock in the morning? This is my apartment. I'm going to go with the latter. I'm not going to go with the former. The former whines. I don't want to whine. I want to have a nice time. Doesn't Ross get it? Stalking a person never goes right. Leave her alone. She's not interested in you. She might be interested in you in season 97. She was. It took a while. But guess what? You have not earned my love or respect. That's how I feel about Ross, Mindy.
So look, Friends is my go-to. I have it on an app. I plays 24/7. I watch it at least once a day, sometimes several times a day. I grab my little coffee mug and go sit on the couch. You know, like they were talking earlier about decompressing after a long day. I get up between 5:30 and 6. I do a lot of work. And so on my lunch break, I watch an episode of Friends. I can
that's cool.
Anything. Yeah. But because of you, I have started giving Seinfeld a chance within the last few months. You know, when you said that they were jerks, it actually made it really funny where there is a lot of times I catch myself literally laughing out loud watching Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, Jane says, is hilarious. McKenna says, I want to go to rant about Ron Weasley now because I have similar passionate thoughts. Yeah, rant away. This is the right place to do it. No, listen, I like the fact that you like Friends because at the end of the day, it speaks to you, and that's what matters, and we all need to unwind. And we lost a really cool guy. He wasn't a friend, but I saw Matthew Perry on set and how he treated the production assistants. Really nice guy, really genuine person, great human being, and also my one of my favorite male characters on Friends. You know, I mean, he wasn't pushy. No. He was who he was. He didn't wear ugly sweaters, so he was a nice guy. But Matthew Perry, man, rest in peace, Matthew. We lost him this year in 2023. It was a great ensemble, They had comedic chops, but as I always say, I have to always bring it back to Seinfeld. Let's see, if I want to laugh, I'm going to go with Michael Richards. I'm going to go with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's a comedic god, and I'm going to go with Larry David and Seinfeld and Peter Melman, our very own. So I'll give credit to the Friends cast because a lot of people say, well, they're not comedians. Well, guess what? Neither is Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the great storytellers out there that are able, and I want to teach this in a workshop. People think that you have to be a comedian in order to be funny on screen. You don't. Their timing was amazing. Their rehearsal time was amazing. They really worked hard on these scripts. They brought a certain passion because they were in their 20s, and now they each landed their breakthrough role. They came together. They did things together, and I think it shows. I think the chemistry, Mindy, of the cast of Friends was something that a lot of us witnessed when we were tuning in.
Mm-hmm. I think it was extremely genuine, which was part of why you have so many classic scenes. The pivot scene was basically
moving the couch.
Yes, it was moving the couch, but it was their chemistry. It was the way they carried themselves that made that scene. And there were many scenes like that. If you see the scripts, they weren't as detailed. They made those scenes because of their genuine connections with each other.
They did connect with each other. You're right.
That's part of what I think why so many people connect with the show, even to this day, is people want friends like that. You want to be able to have, you know, your brothers and sisters that are so close like that, where they're hanging out every day, or, you know, your college roommate that you're still hanging out with, and they're not moochers. They're actually
they were mooching off that loft.
Well, no,
they're all broke, working at coffee shops, and they lived in the greatest loft in New York City.
Joey was the broke one because he was the storyteller.
He
didn't come along until later in life when he got the soap opera acting job. That's when he got into the money, General Hospital. And so, but
I think Joey funded the whole operation. We know about his background. Joey put it all together.
Yeah, he was
guys and gals. Hey, there were 5 families back then. Listen, it was a great cast. John Rett says he's right. Gilbert Gottfried, according to Chad, the late Gilbert Gottfried's voice was annoying. Gilbert had a voice about him. McKenna says, long story short of my rant, Ron Weasley was toxic and who's this?
Smart enough to never marry. Whoa, in real
life, they would have been divorced 5 years. This is an interesting rant here by McKenna. You all more than welcome to bring up your rants, of course.
Yes.
The chemistry was great, but guys and gals, Sean Archer, C.W. Champagne. Okay, gotcha. Are these Friends episodes he's naming? I don't. Is that what he's bringing up here? Someone remind me. Guys and gals, again, talking about Friends. If anybody could do it with me, it's Mindy. So give her credit. Because already on this broadcast, we've talked about the awful Buffalo Bills. The show Friends And of course, guys and gals, a man that was after all of our hearts as he was chasing his very own. I don't know, Alfred. I don't know, but we're going to find out. Guys, changing minds. Mindy will be live with us on YouTube as well. It's going to be a festive party. You'll jump in. You'll comment as well. This will happen in January. We'll keep you abreast and let you know when those dates approach. Mindy, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. And again, happy Christmas Eve.
Eve, guys and gals. And let's bring up Mr. Joe Rositano, who, again, was earlier on as a judge. And guys, you know, we like to take blank canvases and fill it up with beautiful works of art. How about this man over here, Joe? I want to show something really quickly, sort of an after before the before, if that makes any sense. Guys, this is something Joe sent to me. Joe is an artist, and we're going to play this little video here. But before we do that, how about this? I want to share the screen here, Joe, and show the gang what you sent me. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This was the final draft, if I'm not mistaken. Are we looking at it right now, Joe?
Yeah, let's take a look. Yep, this is the final draft. If you can actually, if you can't zoom out, but yeah, that is a part of it. I will post the full thing on my page, but this is something that I was working on a little bit this morning and also a little bit last night till about,
it's really cool.
1 a.m.
Let me play this right now, guys. This is Joe's video working, and let's take a look at what he sent me earlier. I can't wait to watch this myself again for the second time.
30-second look at all this drawing. So this is all started so far with this white pastel right here. Normally I think of a charcoal because I like the look kind of like H.R. Geiger almost. He's the man that did the art behind Alien and some old Dune art. Yes, he did Species, but the point being, this is what I do, and then I'm going to use this to move in with some darker spots. But look at all this.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. And he talked about the Geigermeister. The Geiger, la, 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 la. Yes. Love it. Thank you, Rob Schneider, for letting me steal that. So, Joe Rositano, you're an artist, my friend, and that's why I asked you, hey, let's see that side of Joe, because we know about your many talents. Of course, music aficionado. Of course, we all know you do a lot of security. We also know, of course, that you host a show called The Voiceover. But when it comes to art, a lot of people didn't really know that. How long has it been, I mean, since you've actually done anything, I guess, in the privacy of your own home, just you and your lonesome? How long has it been?
For actually being able to do it on my own after all this work in this year, it's been a good year almost since I've actually finally gotten to sit down and draw and to have that moment. It's like some moments are hard, but then other moments it feels like the pencil does the work for me almost.
I love that. I love that a lot because, guys, on The Voiceover, we're going to talk about art, right? The art of what? Fill in the blank. Well, guess what? We just looked at a piece of art. But Joe Rositano, guys and gals, and myself, we're going to have guests that also talk about how art inspires them, whether in the studio or on stage. I love the ability to sit down and really stop the world for a moment as you exist in yours, right? You can exist in your world while that world doesn't exist. And I love it. You can create worlds that may not exist in anybody else's, right? I mean, a lot of people have their own time that they devote to as far as hobbies and interests and passions, but to know that you can come home after a long night's day, say that's what it is for you. It's a long night's day.
Yes.
Days and nights. You're able to sit down and do what you love, take that paintbrush, put up some beautiful works of art. And the great thing about the paintbrush is it could do no wrong. There's nothing wrong about what you paint as long as you paint. And there's nothing wrong about what you write as long as you write. I do have a joke here when it comes to writing with someone in the back, but I'm not going to mention his name. I'm sure he would appreciate what I have to say here. But guys and gals, I won't bring up his name, but he knows who he is. Man, oh man. I want to say, Joe, I can't wait for The Voiceover. I cannot wait to see what it brings live with our first guest, as you know. Guys, Joe, The Voiceover, artist extraordinaire, judge, competitor, many people's favorites to win this whole tournament. Someone I called up one of those sleeper picks a long time ago, if you remember. Dark horse pick. So, Joe Risitano, guys and gals, see what he gives us next week. Full of surprises, this young man is. Little brother, love you. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Joe Risitano, guys, put him backstage here. He'll be back as we close out the show. And I want to bring in Howard. Howard, you are keeping us in suspense. Next week, we're finally going to get to know more about what Howard loves. Some videos. He's been really keeping us in suspense. He's working on some sort of masterpiece. Let's see what it's going to be. Next Saturday, December 30th, is when we actually have some footage. JW is not going to pop in here, I promise you. I told you during the holidays, at least. You guys have called a truce.
Yeah.
There will be no JW surprise. It'll be Howard Collado in his element doing what he loves. Are you excited to show the world?
I am. I'm so excited, and watching everyone just do their thing inspires me. I love being part of a team where everyone has their own unique contribution, artistic.
Well, so do you. What were we talking about at 5 p.m. in a text? What did we say to each other?
Oh, editing. Well, we were kind of in our own.
I text you something. Well, read it. You could read it out loud.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, hope Howard reads the right text. I'm worried with Howard.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
So it's an adventure. Please read the right text. Yeah.
You said editing cast vids like a machine?
Yeah, I was editing the cast videos like a machine, and you were saying?
Yeah, I think only you and me really know that world, right?
In terms of the quantity and the sheer size of it all, yeah. I mean, we're 5:30. I'm editing the videos. You're doing your thing behind the scenes. It's like, I don't think you guys and gals know. You're watching the show, and it's seamless, and that's great. But there's a lot of time and effort being put right at the wire to make this thing happening. So, Howard, my friend,
yes.
I want to play some videos with you on screen because even though they're not yours,
sure,
there's someone you encountered a very long time ago who's a great addition to this incredible ensemble. But he was a great addition to this incredible ensemble when he wasn't exactly someone that you favored. He was an addition to this great ensemble back in 2021 during our original tournament, and he was a man who would always open up the show. His name is Pete Sharpie.
Hey everyone, it's Pete Sharpie here. Now,
look at him.
How do you measure success? What if I told you success? Everyone's got a different point of view. So I would say success is just perspective. You see what I did there? Pete's perspective. Now, let me tell you about success and my perception. All right, folks?
We're going to see what success is all about in the next episode of Pete's perspective. He's dressed for success, Howard.
Yeah.
Looking rather dapper. Wouldn't you agree?
He left us on a great cliffhanger. I'm intrigued.
My God, I actually am intrigued too, even though people know about our history. Guys and gals, I cannot wait to sit beside, virtually at least, that man we just saw on screen who's quite dapper. It'll be the dapper and the rapper together in the next episode of Pete's Perspective. It's going to be fun. Howard Collado, there's more. How about, since this is the celebrity tournament, let's keep it in brand. How about another celebrity show that'll be a part of this network? Of course, we're talking about Celebrity D&D.
Ooh. Wow, that's
Welcome to a D&D Minute with me, Kelly White. I'll soon be DMing the TKN Celebrity D&D campaign. I wanted to go over a little information. One of the big things with dungeon mastering is being prepared. But because you're dealing with people who don't get a script, a lot of times it falls back to what Eisenhower said. Planning is everything, but plans are worthless. But part of being prepared, whether you're utilizing a pre-made module that you've purchased or doing your own thing, is making sure you've read through it. Here you see I have tonight's adventure. I also have a map, and I have my DM screen, as well as over there, you can't see it, but all the books I need. So preparedness is what a good DM lives by. Join me next time for another D&D Minute.
I really don't want to face Kelly White in this tournament. I mean, an Eisenhower reference? Oh my God, I was already popping. I was getting excited. Man, Kelly White, guys and gals, are going to excite all of you as well, because D&D, if you don't know about the game, Kelly will teach it the way that he does in a very entertaining, educational fashion, because the man is a great speaker. And also, if you do know about the game, you could join in, and we've got celebrities playing this game, so it's going to be fun. Whether the first episode will be pre-recorded or live, we don't know. We know In Details will be live, but either way, Celebrity D&D is coming to the network. How about that?
Just amazing. I mean, we saw there just a little glimpse of just, I guess, his tools that he implements to create I guess what's called a campaign. Again, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, a campaign, sure. It consists ideally of about 5 players. Kelly White's going to teach the masses. It's a lot of storytelling. Kelly White, it's going to be a blast. Absolutely, man. I just said this. I don't know if you hear me, but Kelly White, I don't want to face you in this tournament. Thankfully, he and I are allies. He and I are going to really probably duke it out in the finals. Maybe that's my prediction. But then again, guys and gals, Kelly White is also a Renaissance man, not just a pro wrestler, not just a D&D player, a parent, a husband, a man who's very loyal friend. Kelly White brings a lot to the table, and these celebrities are going to love him as the Dungeon Master, as the DM. And I guarantee you guys and gals, if you don't know anything about D&D, Kelly's the right man to teach you. And hopefully we've all taught you. Giselle's taught us about the importance of giving, whether it's the holiday season or not. Joe Rositano's taught us the importance of slowing down for a moment, even when you have no time, and being able to take a blank canvas and fill it up with works of art. Truly, Julie has reminded us that, yes, it's okay to decompress when you're working so hard to raise such a special child as she does. Mindy Red has reminded us that, yes, even though she changes minds, she too, like the rest of us, has bad sitcoms and TV shows that she enjoys. John Red, I'm sorry, Mindy, I only half mean that. I think you're an inspirational force, but I think your TV show sucks. We'll talk more about that, and you can change my mind on changing minds. She's an incredible human being, and what her and Mr. Red do for others as it pertains to the trees, but it's not just this season. They do it every day. And John Red, of course, man, is a guy who's always cooking, whether he's doing this in the tournament, cooking, he's on fire with topic after topic, or making predictions, or, of course, cooking with purpose in the kitchen. This man is also a machine who never stops, but he does it with love. That's why his last name is Red. We think of the color red when we think of love, don't we? And then, of course, guys and gals, Pete and Kelly White, and, of course, so many of these other great and amazing cast members. Phil, every single person here in this cast means so much to me. Howard Collado is going to show us what he's got. But, guys, yet another brand new outro. And this outro is like something you've never seen before. Brand new clips. So as we do that, let's pull in Julie. Let's pull in Joe. Let's pull in Giselle. Why not give them a chance to enjoy what you've been enjoying, guys and gals? Let them sit and not comment and watch and react and feel inspired by something that they should. Because at the end of the day, even Scott Winters, who's one of the most grounded human beings I know, said it best. At the end of the day, it's all about winning. Especially knowing what this tournament stands for now. Who will win? Who will shake the hand of their opponent? Who will go that extra mile necessary? Who will do the research? Who will step outside their comfort zone and own and make no bone as they leave it all on the line? Because at the end of the day, it is about the pride and the prize.
Just saw that 6K in the comments section. Holy.
Oh my God.
Phil tonight.
Another milestone, guys and gals.
Absolutely.
A night filled with milestones. On a night where a man had a few hours notice and popped in and moved on to round 2 and called it 31 knockouts, and he got 31. On a night where a man who was class personified and revolutionized the music industry showed up, and a living legend himself was here to grace us with his presence. On a night where the Green Roomers became more than just competitors, but became the family that they are. Guys and gals, this again, as far as Saturday night is concerned, is what the TKN Celebrity Tournament is truly all about.
Very exciting.
Talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about? Is it all you ever think about?
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be.
Is it all you ever think about?
Even if you win, what have you won? Apollo's still
I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game.
Why can't you change your thinking? Everybody else does.
Because I'm a fighter. In my book, we're going to be winners.
You can't win!
Let's face it, it's you against you out there.
Because I'm a fighter.
Let's go!
Because I'm a fighter.
Let me hear it!
Because I'm a fighter. Because I'm a fighter.
When you walk on that court, you have to think I am the best guy out there.
I'm gonna be the most dominant champion of all time, taking on all comers. Georgia, they had the first black police officer. I ain't running from nobody. In 1985. And I'm never, ever
Mark
losing this title. And I beg to differ, because the Boston Celtics had two advantages over every other team in the league.
I don't care if LeBron's playing.
No. Because I overstarted. Let me hear what I overstarted. Because I don't know how far you go with this. I'm going to fire another one at you. How is I'm asking you the questions. No, I want to ask you this. I'm a talk show host too.
Don't come across with me on that.
The point is
Where's the $2
that
billion? The growth of government almost 16%.
and gave $2 billion back in property tax relief.
No,
Jesse.
$1 billion, Skip. But on the flip
point is-
side, they raised my property value. That's a shell game.
You're really real. I mean,
Yarborough, who is riding about 3 cars behind, testified that very day that he could smell the pungent odor of gunpowder as he dripped.
you're like a machine underneath, right?
When you read this book, it is so blatantly clear
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive that side.
what was attempted here, that it was an attempt to stay in power,
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
attempt to avoid the election.
Watching John with the machine, it was suddenly so clear.
And now people won't even fess up to it.
Terminator would never stop.
Don't come across with me on that.
Payback time.
Terminator would never stop.
Well, of course I am. I don't do nothing to lose.
I'm the kind of guy right now, if I needed to sneeze, I'd use your hand. That's the kind of guy I am.
And change is what we all have to be open to.
Would you be willing to train all the days from this day to that?
The fool is the one that won't change.
For one chance, just one chance.
Doesn't respect change. Changes are a good thing because you can always change again.
To come back here
So being conscious of that
and tell our enemies
opens the door.
that they may take our lives,
Opens the door
but they'll never take
for freedom.
our freedom.
Time to live. Are you kidding me? I've been wanting to say this for years.
Is what's the ramifications of things down the road.
Now I got a little gift for you. Now wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Whether it be, going from the past to see where it is now, like when you look at like the wonderful positive impact that the Beatles and Elvis had on culture and all of that.
This is the favorite thing that I have on this earth.
Unfortunately, it didn't really last.
And Rocky Marciano, give me that.
And again, unfortunately, the rap music culture has lasted.
You know what it was? It's cufflink. Huh? And now I'm giving it to you.
Fortunately, in a way, is celebrating.
And it's got to be like an angel on your shoulder, see? And if you ever get hurt and you feel that you're going down, this little angel is going to whisper in your ear.
The dynamic destruction of humankind.
Get up, you son of a bitch! Because Mickey loves you.
To round number 2.
Rick Barry has not missed the free throw against Washington. Deflected ball picked up by Ray Barry alone to the basket. A tremendous move. Back comes Kevin Porter. When that young man scores, this thing ain't really going. Rick Barry has not missed the free throw against Washington. Deflected ball picked up by Ray Barry alone to the basket. A tremendous move.
Was an incredible accomplishment by all of these people working so hard to get this done.
I think that we should be together. And I've thought about it a lot, and this is what's going to happen.
And to put someone there, I remember seeing it. I'm sure most of you remember where you were when that happened.
Okay, I'm going to keep pursuing what I'm pursuing. And because I'm doing that, it's going to take up more and more of my time.
In mechanical, computerized stuff and engineering.
And I'm not going to be able to spend as much time with you. And even when I do spend time with you, I'm going to be thinking about drumming.
Simulation technology, biomedical studies.
I'm going to be thinking about jazz music and my charts and all that. And because of that, you're going to start to resent me.
Geophysics of planet formations. They learned all of this because of the trip to the moon.
And you're going to tell me to ease up on the drumming, spend more time with you because you're not feeling important. And I'm not going to be able to do that. And really, I'm just going to start to resent you for even asking me to stop drumming.
600 million people, they say, watched the landing on the moon.
And we're just going to start to hate each other. And it's going to get it's going to be ugly. And so for those reasons, I'd rather just, break it off clean.
Same thing. You don't play for individual awards. You play for team championship.
Because I want to be great.
You play about winning.
I want to be one of the greats.
But he stays in the block. McNeil will take it. Takes it in. Touchdown.
I just wanted to read a quote from John Lombardi.
What the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Former president of Florida. This is what he said after the death penalty was announced.
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
It's like what happened after World War II when we dropped the atomic bomb. The results were so catastrophic that now we'll do anything to avoid another one.
Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
Dropping another. But since they haven't dropped another, only S&P so far.
We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something.
I think that's a scandal in itself.
And Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947.
Nothing is over! Nothing! Drexler outside, Maloney, Johnson at the buzzer! Eddie Johnson hits at the buzzer to give the Rockets a 95-92 win.
It was extremely unfortunate that a man built to be president.
I did, and I'm trying to pull him off, and it's my friend that's all over me.
By his resume, was cast into a thermonuclear conflict.
I can't get it out of my head. I do this 7 years. Every day it hurts. Sometimes I wake up.
And when you rhyme, ooh, there's lots of bull. When it comes time to step to a mic, I don't sit around. Play, you know I don't kid around. So come with it, boy, don't even hide your best. Cause kids spell backwards describes your best. Look around, watch the people clap hands.
Duke made his money in the tobacco game. So Duke's whole existence is based on the desecration of America's lungs.
It really don't matter if this guy opens my head. He
did the flop, okay? And most of all, Duke was founded by tobacco money.
All I want to do is go to distance.
They would sacrifice for you.
Do it now or I will kill you. You believe it? 1. This is God's house. Don't make me do this. Please. Don't. 3.
All I'm saying is that you should be prepared as an entertainer to embrace the fact that sometime your number may be called to step up and help somebody else.
Every choice we make allows us to manipulate the future.
To round number 2.
Living is making choices.
Here to win the whole thing.
There is no tomorrow.
So definitely.
There is no tomorrow.
To round number 2.
The money
conquer your fear!
Absolutely, I'm going for it all the way.
And I promise you, you will conquer death!
To round number 2.
Oh yeah, for sure, yo. We don't go out with no losing mentality.
OPP, how can I explain it? I take it frame by frame it.
We champions at all, yo.
To have y'all on jumping, shower saying it. O is for other, P is for people scratch a temple. The last P.
We put this work in.
Well, that's not that simple. It's sort of like another way to call a cat a kitten.
When you're in gratitude,
I deeply regret your loss.
for your life,
And I offer myself as your brother.
and for your blessings.
Alexander Grady, Portland, Oregon. I know everything about you.
I believe love is the greatest power.
I know all I want to ever know about you.
We have to create with. If you want something, love it more.
The only two people I want to beat right now is Rick Barry and Eddie Johnson. Now, baby, I'm coming for you. Now, baby, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
You have to take risks. You're mine. You have to fall down. You have to get hit. Get up again. You have to fight.
Do it! Do it!
Accept the risk. That's what makes you control your destiny.
It's so unusual to be engaged in what everybody else is saying. And
Plenty. I learned how to sand your decks, maybe. I wax your car, paint your house, paint your fence. I learned plenty, right?
and to want to listen because it's happening real time.
And not everything is as seen.
Oh, bullshit. I'm going home, man.
It's not a frozen dinner, as it were, being served.
I love.
And there are many ways that people try to learn today.
Daniel-san!
What?
Come here.
But if they don't get to that ultimate goal,
Show me wax on, wax off.
which is to know the things that they've been studying so that they can use them.
Show me pen to fence.
Not only to gain the knowledge, but have the ability to use it in a positive way.
Show me side to side.
That's going to help other people. That's going to help other people. That's going to help other people. That's going to help other people.
Hey, look, I always
Somewhere around the 285-pound mark.
I'm going to take it like I won the first ever Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah! That's right! He pulled the top rope down.
Stay out of my way. Have board, will travel. Ho!
We listen to a podcast, gentlemen. We are seeking one of two things. We're seeking information.
You will not give, I'll take.
Or wanting to be entertained.
And he is my enemy.
Things inside you mature and tears come to your eyes.
Oh, God, no, please.
There's a religious aspect to it.
Special rebuttal by Mr. Nikita Cole.
I think one thing, Avi, that separates Singletary is that Singletary parlayed his NFL career into a 17-year coaching career.
Was that nobody wanted war anymore until Reagan came in '83, decided to pick up public morale and bomb Grenada.
And a lot of it was because of how they were treated when they came home. That's just a point that I feel like was not brought up in that case. So,
and Mark stands correct because I did not bring that up. But let me just bring up what I did bring up, which led to the effect that Mark brought up, because the cause was the fact that we were watching this war go down.
Be able to eliminate the battles or put them in a different subject matter to where now the kid has to, and Brian has a question.
Brian Taylor is going to rebut right now.
Folks who are tuning into podcasts, if they're not really interested in the podcast, they're not going to listen longer than a minute or two.
Being aware of your consciousness.
Right, of course there are.
There are
being
aware of your consciousness.
Right, and I'm saying, but the advantages of being aware. The question is aware of your consciousness, not what does your consciousness do for you.
Well, in order for it to do something, you have to be aware of it.
I know. Look, I'm saying you're both become the speakers. You're both
upstanding gentleman named Norman Bates. One thing you notice off the bat after he leaves from visiting with Marion is that he has a difficult relationship with his mother.
Multitudes and multitudes they come.
Offensive for the first time in the matchup. Off and a clothesline, yeah.
They come to do what? To do battle. To do mental battle with one another.
I believe that it's one of the reasons is because it's an all-volunteer army. They may not choose to be in Iraq and Afghanistan, but they chose to be in the army.
That time, Vampiro, though, goes to the eyes of Buff Bagwell with a
Territorial and global expansion.
I like these odds.
That was the real reason. And in addition to that, there was also a lot of assets that we got out of Vietnam that only now in the last 30 years is being discovered. How about the word drugs?
All the recording's going to do is make a case for something to be taken out of context. Protect.
Howard Collada will be rebutting John Red.
But what's going to 99% empirically prove it is going to be video footage.
So these are films. Speak to us in our time of need. They speak to us when we're happy. They bring us back to nostalgia. Give us a life that we can live.
Every time I watch that movie, it evokes this strength. And my mind goes back to that time when I was sitting on the couch. And I said I could do anything. And I said I could do anything. The theater, and I love the musical. You know, just keep going. Every day you wake up and you might find something that you find you're not good at. And that might take you 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And I said I could do anything.
Kelly has a rebuttal. Kelly, go ahead.
But my question is, if experience is so great, why do we as humans inundate our lives from birth to death with advice?
And attacks 4 young women. Young women, as we know, college-age young ladies, attacks these women to the point.
So you would watch all these wrestlers. There was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted.
Start becoming a team right now.
You go on past these, the 2000s, you don't have these shows no more.
You want to settle old scores, you're on the wrong team.
The American family kind of separated in the 2000s.
We move forward starting right now.
The family nucleus was gone.
We start becoming a team right now.
You're no longer sitting in front of a TV watching these amazing shows in the 2000s. Yeah, you had game shows.
Don't quit! Rock Kelly, you don't quit! Keep going! Keep going! No, Rock Kelly, you don't quit on me! No, you keep going! You keep going! No, Rock! 10 more! Get up, you son of a bitch! Mickey loves you. Son of a bitch! Mickey loves you. Get up! Get up!
son of a bitch. Mickey loves you.
In any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm... Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.
Avi, I'm gonna win this whole thing. Watch.
I know you are, Tom. I know you are.